I'm
Yeah.
alive.
Welcome,
How
everyone,
about
to
you?
episode 110 of the Looks Like a Movie podcast. My name is Kevin. I'm here with Doug and Owen, and today we're talking about David Fincher's 2002 film Panic Room. For
What?
listeners of last week's pod, why'd you say what like that?
Oh, because Doug's just like a strawberry right now.
What? I'm
A
jolly.
little bit of housekeeping for listeners of last week's podcast. We said that this week we would be doing a full Fincher episode, but conflicts arise. We had to push that episode back just a tiny bit, but we're still going to do a full Fincher episode. We're just going to do only Panic Room this week as a little bit of a teaser for the full Fincher episode. But other piece of housekeeping, I think Owen, if you want, you can take away. I don't
Oh,
want to. I
okay.
don't want to steal your spotlight.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So,
It's
Oh,
like
okay.
it's like when you ask somebody to freestyle and they're like trying to get in on the beat and they don't know what to say, so they're just like repeating the same thing over and over
okay.
again.
Yeah. So me and Kevin, we've been dropping seeds of it on a lot of different social media platforms and talking about it for a
Oh,
while, but
seeds! I
I
see what you
don't.
did there.
Oh,
You've
seed
been
in it.
dropping
I don't know
seeds.
if we've
Been
officially
sparking
said
the
anything
seed.
on the podcast yet, so we wanted to say something now because at the time of recording this, is day 2 of our 60-day campaign. But on Tuesday, we'll be in that kind of middle of the first week. So me and Kevin co-wrote a feature film. I will be directing the feature film, and to get this made, we have to crowdfund for it. So we have a crowdfunding page, and we started that campaign. It's going really well so far, but it's going to take some more. So we just wanted to talk about it and bring it up on the podcast for people who may just listen to the podcast and don't listen to us on other things or don't follow us otherwhere, which you should. You should follow us on all of our other stuff. But we'll have the Seed and Spark link to the crowdfunding campaign in the description if you want to help. Also, we've been big on like if you don't have to spend any money, but following the Seed and Spark will help us because I think we're at 150 followers on the Seed and Spark right now. But if we hit 250, Seed and Spark gives us rewards and certain waivers to festivals and stuff like that. So it will help us by just following the Seed and Spark page. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think you nailed it. The following thing, like you said, is a big deal. I mean, if for example, everybody who listens to the podcast weekly were to just hit the follow button for free, then
Yep.
we would reach not only our first goal, but even the second goal. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
required.
Yeah.
So just making an account in like 20 seconds and hitting the follow button would help the page get more
Yeah. Make
attention. And
sure to
obviously,
count.
like yeah, and obviously, like as the campaign goes on, we're hoping that Seed and Spark themselves promotes the campaign to
Mm-hmm.
random people on the internet that are not in
Yeah.
our audience. But it does still help if we get as much support as we can
Mm-hmm.
from you guys who like know us through the podcast and
Yeah.
have watched all of our content and stuff. Because there's obviously going to be some level of fatigue as the campaign goes
Sure.
on. Like we're
Yeah.
making the most money up front because those are the people who
Mm-hmm.
want to donate right away, and so those donations are going to kind of lessen as the campaign goes on, and we need to still hit the number. So don't think
Yeah.
that and again, like Owen said, we're not asking for your money if you don't have it. But if you do have the money, like don't think that just because you see the big number up front on the first couple of days that we are just automatically going to hit the goal. We still need
Yeah.
to see this thing the whole way through. We need to hit that 80% number of 24,000 to get any of the money to fund the film.
Mm-hmm.
And so, $5,000 in the first day seems like a lot, but like that needs to keep up because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a big there's a big $19,000 difference between 24,000 and 5,000,
Mm-hmm.
and $19,000 is a lot of money. So
Mm-hmm.
so just because we made a lot of money early on doesn't mean we don't still need that support. So that's the only thing I would add to that. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
Just to go on, I've mentioned it a few times, but the goal is the 30% in that first week because once Seed and Spark puts us on the front page and kind of puts us out there, other people who are finding it organically, they're going to see that 30% and say, "Oh, these guys, they're making their way towards the green light," and they'll kind of join on. People want to be winners and join winning, campaigns. They don't want to join on to campaigns that are going to lose and they're just going to get their money back anyway. So that
yeah.
30% really shows like validity of the campaign. So we are at 17% at the time of recording this now. So we're on our way, but we do need to hit that 30% in this first week. That'd be big.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't drag this on for too
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
We still want to do a normal podcast, but that's just something that we wanted to announce for the people who want to support us. Um, we could talk about what we normally talk about, which is what we watched this past week. Personally, I didn't watch a ton as we were preparing for this campaign and stuff. I didn't really have the most time to watch stuff. I did go to theaters to rewatch Black Bag, which I wish I got to do before we recorded the pod. I wish I got to see it a second time, but especially after we recorded the pod on it last week, I wanted to still see it a second time. And I liked it even more the second time. I think a lot of like I don't know, just the way that my brain works when information is thrown at me. Sometimes I don't always appreciate a movie like this as much as I can on a first watch, because if it is like a big mystery and there's like lots of information that they're throwing at you about characters or any of the stuff going on, I just get caught up in like these little details and it distracts me from like the bigger picture of a movie. And so when I rewatched it, knowing all of these details about like their lives as spies and like the actual like politics of the whole thing, I was like, okay, I don't have to pay attention to that because I know what's happening. And then I just kind of like focused on the relationship and the romantic stuff, and I was like, oh, this is even better than I thought it was. So I'm glad I went and rewatched that, and I would recommend that people go see it if they haven't still. I don't know if it's going to be in theaters much longer, I guess, but and then the other thing that I watched was Exiled, which I talked to Doug about, a Johnny Toe film. I've never seen one of his movies. This was my first one. And it was really fucking cool. I was a big fan. I talked to Doug because I know he has seen some of them. I know a lot of other people that I'm friends with have seen them and are a fan of him. And I thought that I would start that adventure. And now I definitely want to watch a bunch more. It is like, I think I've said this about other movies in the past. And I think even when we did like our year wrapped podcast and we talked about, what was it, Twilight of the Warriors, like the Walden movie,
Mhm.
that, that was like, like sometimes you just watch action movies from outside of Hollywood and you're like, this is so much cooler than what people in Hollywood are doing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and I would recommend that people who are into action, like Hollywood action movies, and have not seen movies like this, check it out, because it's just like you can't even compare the two. It's like night and day. They're so different. There's a scene in the middle of Exile, not to like give anything away, but there's a scene where they're at like like an underground doctor kind of thing, like a mob doctor or whatever, like you can't go to the hospital because you got shot or whatever, so you go to this guy. They're at that place, and it like breaks out into like a full gunfight between like 15 people, and it's like the coolest shit in the world. Like you don't see anything like that in Hollywood movies, especially that looks that good. Obviously, like I think I texted this to Doug, and obviously he knows more about it than I do, but like it just doesn't seem like there's too many directors in the world, if any, that can pull that off. So that's a movie I would really recommend people check out. It's also just like really sweet. It's like about friendship, and it's kind of just like really nice and like made me emotional. So that's like a cherry on top. But those are the only two movies I watched. I did watch, boo, a lot of TV this past week. Specifically, The Pit is getting crazy. We're almost at the
There's
finale.
like a shooting, a mass shooting.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to like spoil it for people who are interested in watching The Pit, but sure, now that Doug said it, there's a there's a mass shooting that happens in The Pit, and so the last couple episodes and this past week's episode are just like they transform the entire they kick all of the patients out of the hospital. They're like, you have to go home, and then they turn the hospital into a war zone, and there is just like people rushing in. No, literally, like it's no, I swear, they're doing like war zone, like that. Like there's no they kick all the patients out, and then people just rush in, and like random cars like from the shooting, just like tons of people rushing in, and you can't like put people in rooms. Everybody has to be like out in the open, like a war zone, so that you can keep sure like make sure that nobody dies. And there's no like patient write-ups, there's no computers, there's no like anything. It's literally just like come in, you get like a wristband slapped on you based on how close you are to dying, and then you're just like thrown into a giant room of people who are all dying, and they're like operating on everybody at the same time, and it's fucking nuts. It's so cool, and that's just gonna like go on. Like the episode ends, and then next week it's just gonna be more of it, and then probably for like several episodes until the finale. Which is just like really exciting and also sad as shit. As somebody I follow on Twitter who I saw tweet about the pit. I thought that you guys probably follow them, but that's beside the point. I thought they tweeted about the pit sarcastically. Like I thought they were making fun of people who like the pit, and I was like, oh, that sucks because I usually like their opinions. And then they were like, I'm 6 episodes deep into the pit, and I've cried at every single episode, and I'm like, oh wait, they were actually like being serious. Which is really cool. Like so many people who have really cool taste are just like watching the pit and they're like, oh, this is awesome. And I just like I didn't expect that because typically when I like TV, it's like really lame shit. But people are like actually like it's actually good.
They're
And
saying
people are into
that
it.
they're saying that the pit is the best season of TV of the year.
Without
That's
a
what they're
doubt.
saying. That's what
Yeah.
they're saying.
I mean, well, you know, people are also talking about this adolescent show, which I started the first episode
That's a
of.
fucking mini
Um,
series, bro.
okay, sure, but that's still a season of TV. In fact, it's only one season. Um, but yeah, people are talking about that a lot. I watched the first episode. I'm gonna keep watching it this week probably because there's only 4 episodes total. It's okay. It's cool. I mean, like the one shot stuff is cool. He's done that. The director of the show did it in a movie before, also starring Stephen Graham, Boiling Point, which is a movie that I enjoy quite a bit. Um, I saw like a clip of Stephen Graham on Jimmy Kimmel, I think, or something, one of the talk shows, like promoting the show, and they showed like a behind the scenes clip of how they're doing the one shot, and it's like, I mean, it's kind of insane. They're like he said that the final episode of the show was filmed 16 times before they got the right take, and it's like they're literally just filming the entire episode in one shot. Like it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's like whether you end up liking the show or not is one thing, but it's pretty not like the first episode. They're just like they start in a house and like they take the camera all through this person's house, and then they have to take the kid who gets arrested in the first episode to the police station, and like everybody's like freaking out. They're like outside the house, and then the actors just like jump in a car, the camera jumps in a separate car with the kid, they take it to the police station, and then the actors just like also show up at the police station, and the camera just keeps going the whole time to the police station, and then they film it all through the police station. And it's like it's I imagine from the crew's perspective it is like an unbelievable task to pull off. Like it's pretty nuts. So that part of it is cool. And then the big thing I watched on TV is 4 straight days now of March Madness. If you've heard of it, if you're a basketball fan. uh Kind of not the most exciting start to the tournament that we've seen recently, but hopefully it gets fun here at the end. Anyway, UCLA lost last night. I was pretty bummed. I was texting my girlfriend about how I want to die and I'm gonna curl up in a ball and cry for the rest of the night. I did not die, but I did cry a little. Anyway, uh, you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch a lot of stuff. I wanted to watch more, and then I lost power. That's an important part. I didn't have
Right?
power
Yeah.
for about 2 days. But I
This was a winter storm or what was it?
it was a blizzard.
Okay.
Yes, it was a winter storm. Where there was snow falling from the sky for a
Right.
long
Yeah.
time.
As it happens,
I don't
were
know.
there any damages or is everything okay?
No, I think everything's fine mostly.
Okay. Just the
Um,
power. All right.
yeah. I watched Wagon Master,
Mhm.
the John Ford picture, just really good. It's very John Ford movies are like this, but it's very like the main character is just kind of like a good guy, and you're watching him like follow through like this kind of like a pretty normal but very straightforward situation. So it's like the Ben Johnson just plays like, you're like good, nice, heroic dude, and he just has to kind of like save the day, help out these other nice guys, and it's just like 2 hours of that, or like 90 minutes of that, or however long it is. 80 minutes. She's yeah, 80 minutes of that. But it's good. Yeah, it's really good. and I watched Sunrise: A Song of Two Humans, which is like a movie I should have watched 3 years ago. The
Yeah.
FW Murnau picture, which is hmm, uh, which is really good. It's one of the one of the greatest pictures of all time. But it's so cool because the plot is also very straightforward. Like narratively, like the things that literally happen in the movie is very straightforward. But formally, the way that he kind of like figures out how to communicate the story is so crazy. Um, is so crazy. Um, um uh like specifically like with like the title cards, how the title cards kind of like, not title cards, like I guess like dialogues, it's a silent film, but like the
Intertitles.
yeah, the inner titles, yes. um and how they kind of like melt away and stuff is so, you know
Hmm.
very cool. Just it's a really good movie about like being in love with your wife. Really sick. um and then I watched Happy Together, which is a really good movie about how your boyfriend will ruin your life.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the same thing. I thought it
No,
was another movie about loving your wife.
no, it's not. Well, it's two men.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah,
haven't seen the movie.
no, yeah, it's
I
two
know.
men. It's
I was
Tony
unaware.
Leung and Leslie Cheung.
I see.
Yes, and Tony Leung is just kind of like a down bad guy who I don't know, trying to figure out how to live his life. He's kind of like depressed, not in the best part. And then Leslie Cheung is just like the guy that he's in love with that's just like ruining his whole fucking life, kind of. It's but it is what it is. It's good. And then I watched Panic Room this morning.
Right. No Orlando in there, is my
No, no, no,
understanding.
Orlando.
I didn't have electricity in my room.
Right, but you still watched four other movies. I noticed.
Hmm.
Oh, and what'd you watch this week? No Orlando for you,
Oh no,
obviously.
Orlando for me. But I never said I was going to do
Yeah,
that. I
no, I guess
never,
that's true. I guess you
I
do
never
tend to
claimed to be a
follow through on
fighter.
your promises. Yeah.
Okay. So I was continuing watching some Fincher stuff with Zodiac and Benjamin Button,
Oh,
and
I
then I
didn't see you
watched.
watch Zodiac.
Yeah, I did watch it.
That sounds like not the response I wanted.
So Chungking
Yeah,
Express.
I did watch it.
Chungking
Oh,
Express.
Chunking Express.
So Chungking Express. I watched this for class. I was talking to Doug about it. I was like, I saw the first 20 minutes of this movie like a year ago because my teacher randomly put it on like the first 20 minutes while we were like waiting for other students to come back for something. And then like I never saw the rest of it. But I was like, I remember watching the 20 minutes. I was like, oh, this is good. I should finish this later. And then I didn't. But then I had to watch the full thing for a different class, and it's very good. I've seen In the Mood for Love and Fallen Angels, but like it's been a minute. So, but I really
Fallen
do like.
Angels. Do you know about Fallen Angels? Like how it's like just like more Chunking
Yeah,
Express?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. But I remember I saw Fallen Angels December 31st, 2021. So it's been a it's been a second. But one yeah, Chunking Express is really great. Oh, I've also seen My Blueberry Nights, which is a movie. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Chunking
yeah.
Express is very good. I mean, yeah, I really like that first section a lot. I mean, I feel like that's kind of
Really, that is, nobody says that.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
I'm saying like a lot of people. That's what a lot of people are saying.
um,
But I mean, they're both good. I definitely was captivated by that first section.
most
Uh,
people kind of act like the second section's the only, like that's like the whole movie. It's the way that people talk about it.
Wait, really? Are you so you're saying people prefer the second section? Because I've been seeing a lot of people
Yes.
say that they like the first one more.
Let me. Okay, it's been a second since I watched the movie. The second section is the one with Tony Leung and Fei Wong, right?
Yeah.
That's the second. Yeah, a lot of people just
Okay.
act like that's the whole movie.
Interesting. As I was like, I was just like, there were like TikTok fucking. That is not the best source, but like, I would see a lot of like fucking TikTok things. They're like, I wish the first section with the whole movie, which is interesting,
Oh,
because I didn't
interesting.
feel like that because I felt like there was I liked the way that like it's not really the way that it like kind of they intertwine, and it's
Yeah.
like it feels very connected, even though like we're leaving this character and going to this one. Like it feels they're all in the same thing, rather than like some sort of anthology where it's like some really different, like completely separate worlds. So I didn't have any problem with it. I definitely maybe prefer that opening stuff, but I liked all of it. It's really great.
I liked I like in the movie when Faye Wong dances to the Cranberry song.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
good.
no, I mean Faye Wong is incredible in the film. I watched some other stuff for school. I watched National Gallery, the Frederick Wiseman film, which was cool. I was doing some research on like painters and stuff in the library that day, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch this Frederick Wiseman like 3 hour movie, and that was really cool. I've still only seen a few Fred Wiseman films, like High School and maybe one other, but he's, I mean, kind of one of the great documentary filmmakers. And then I watched Seven Chances. I watched that 3 hour Fred Wiseman film, and I was like, I'm gonna watch a Buster Keaton like 50-minute movie right after, just like change it up a little. And that movie is insane. I love it's an adaptation of a play, and I think it's like a perfect premise for a movie where Buster Keaton plays this guy who he learns he has to get married on his 27th birthday by 7 p.m. and then he'll inherit $7 million. Um, so he's like running around trying to like get married, and all these hijinks happen. And there's really crazy stunts and really amazing like kind of cinematography with. There's like these scenes where there's like it seems like there's like a million, probably a couple hundred women just like in one shot. There's really crazy stuff there. So I mean that's an all timer. And then I watched King Lear last night after we did some crowdfunding stuff. I got the is it I don't know where
King
is it.
Lear, the Jean-Luc Godard movie.
Yeah, I don't know where my Blu-ray is. I got the Blu-ray off from the Criterion Channel 50% off sale, and it came in yesterday, and so I put that in. And that movie I don't know if you know this, Doug. The movie's in English.
Yes, I did know that.
Which is
Yeah.
really crazy. It's really interesting because it's that 80s period with Godard, and there's a very specific style, and then it's all in English. So that was really interesting. But I mean, it's fantastic. So many really interesting It's one of my favorites for sure. Of
I
his
haven't
where
seen
I
that
love
one.
that 80s period.
I know that Richard Brody that like he's a huge like already like he's a big Godard fan, but he's like
Yeah.
a huge fan of that one. Like Richard Brody, I know that he says that's the best movie from the 80s.
There's a bunch of Richard Brody stuff in that. I'm trying to look for. I don't see behind me.
That's like one of
No,
his
there's a bunch of
favorites.
Richard Brody stuff in that Criterion thing that I'll have to check out. But yeah, I mean that 80s period's just so interesting. They're like the movies are just there's not another filmmaker who's made movies like those and that he made in the 80s. I really like Every Man for Himself and Hail Mary and stuff like that. I gotta watch Godard's Passion because Isabelle Huppert is in that, and that I mean that one's supposed to be one of his best as well. So also Detective's pretty good. That 80s period's really interesting. But yeah, that's all I watched this week.
Nice. Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about Panic Room then, which is I thought it was earlier in Fincher's filmography, but then I was looking at it and I was like, there is, Fight Club and Seven come out before this, and The Game and Alien 3, but Fight Club and Seven obviously like big notable
Yeah,
ones.
super popular.
So it's his fifth narrative feature.
Mhm.
Um, it's got Kristen Stewart and Jodie Foster in it,
Yep.
and also Forrest Whitaker, who I want to talk about endlessly. I don't know. I feel like I'm on an island with this, but I was just
You are
like,
With
not on
what?
Forrest Whitaker Island, bro.
no,
With what?
not like an island. Just like
That he's
I guess
good.
I guess
What do you mean?
no. I phrased that wrong. I shouldn't phrase it like people
Everybody
don't
else is
like
like
him.
Forrest Whitaker. It
No,
sucks, and
I
Kevin's like, no, he's good.
shouldn't phrase it like people don't like him. I just like didn't know he was in the movie. Like I had never anytime I've ever heard somebody talk about the movie, nobody has ever mentioned him in it. And then like I'm looking at like Letterboxd reviews and nobody mentions him in those either. And I'm like, why is nobody talking about this?
Are they talking about
He's
Jared
so
Leto
good.
instead?
Yeah, I mean all the Letterboxd reviews are about Jared Leto, who's also in the movie. Dwight
Who's
Yoakam's
good in
also
the
in the
movie?
movie, but he
I'm gonna
wears
be honest. He's good in the movie.
I don't think he's very good in the
You don't think
movie.
he's good in the
I
movie?
don't
Come
I don't
on.
like him
He's good in
much.
the movie.
He's
I don't think I can
he's
really stand him anymore. I don't know.
Oh, Jared Leto.
well, this is like Jared
I
Leto
think
before you couldn't stand
Fincher's
him,
one of the people who consistently gets a good performance out of Jared Leto. I
What
would
was the
say.
turning point for Jared Leto hate?
Suicide Squad.
That's
The
okay. That's what
Joker.
I was assuming. But
But he's good in Fight Club as well. I would
Yeah,
say.
I mean
Sure.
he's really
Yeah.
good in Blade Runner, which
Mhm.
came out after Suicide Squad. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't like forget how to act when he did Joker. I
Also,
just
he's
yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
it's
like
just
quite
like
a
people
I don't
started
know all
hating him
the
because it became like a meme,
yeah, I
because
don't know
that
all
and
the
like
details,
Morbius.
but isn't he also like just a pretty bad person in his personal
Oh
life?
yeah,
he's like
he's
a
like
well,
he's like
he
He's
had
like he
like
has like a cult, doesn't
yeah,
he?
he had like a cult. Yeah, he had like a cult.
he's
It's
like
actually so
he's
we
like
watched
awful.
I watched Opus, right? And after with a friend, and afterwards she
What a
like
friend.
showed me videos of Jared Leto's cult on her phone and was like, "This is like the movie." And I was like, "I didn't realize it was like that."
Yeah.
His cult.
And also
Um
there's like weird like method stuff where like on Suicide Squad he would like send like dead
Yeah,
rats to people and like these are like weird
well, like,
like
and on the set of
yeah.
Morbius, he was like he would be in a wheelchair and would like refuse to get out of the wheelchair between takes. Which, like
It's like one thing if you're a method actor, but when you're like method acting and it's like starting to affect other people in the cast, like your method acting is like extending to
yeah.
other people's personal lives, like outside of filming, like you're a
Yeah, I
crazy
know.
person.
He's but I think like in this film I think he works in the way that like Fincher is like at both times with like Fight Club and this thing, like he's portraying him as this like kind of like weak guy like kind of over his head, and it works in the way of like his the way that his kind of persona works, and like you want him to get fucking like you want him to lose sort of thing. I think
David
it works.
Fincher said about Jared Leto when he said that Jared Leto and his team like reached out to him and was like, "Hey, I really want to be in Fight Club. Like I'll do like
Yeah,
any
yeah.
role in Fight Club." And then Fincher said like, he was such an attractive guy that the only role that made sense was to make him get beat up. Um,
yeah, yeah. No, I think it works. I even like I think it's his like cornrows in this is like it's so ridiculous, and it
yeah.
it, it
Yeah,
kind of works for this like punk guy trying to like rob. They gonna make a quick buck from robbing this place.
yeah.
Also,
Oh,
yeah. No, yeah.
oh, okay. I was
Sorry.
gonna say, I mean, we're gonna spoil the over 20
yeah,
year old movie, but
yeah, yeah.
the I do like one aspect of Jared Leto's character, or I guess it's not really his character, but just I guess Fincher's approach of just like making you hate Jared Leto, and then like actually there's just like a worse guy in the movie who is actually the biggest
Yeah.
villain in the movie, and like that turn I think is very cool. I
Yeah,
think Dwight Yoakam's good in the movie, even though he's like under a mask for most of the movie, but still like that I think that's a cool thing, and I think I don't like Jared Leto in the movie, but I think for that reason, especially now watching it in the future in the post like we hate Jared Leto world,
the
it's like well because like now
fucked
everybody
up
now
world we live in, right?
it's like universal to hate him now is my point. So like I
You
think from
sure?
that perspective it like has aged well because it's like it just works to like watch the movie, hate Jared Leto at the beginning, and then like have this other dude who's like even
Yeah.
worse sneak up on you. I think is like one of the things I really liked about it, because Jared Leto ends up
Well,
not being
I
the
think when
biggest part of it.
you bring up the mask thing, I think you have these two recognizable faces, and you're like, okay, these are and then you have this kind of goon guy with a mask, and then there's it's very smart like kind of narrative
He's a
progression to
what?
kind of he's like a goon. It's
Okay.
like like a you know
Yeah, like one of like in Batman, right? When
yeah
like the
he's like
Sure,
Penguin
yeah.
has goons, like
Yeah.
yeah.
but it's like it's smart kind of narrative progression to kind of hide the guy who's gonna become later be more important, and so we don't like you know there's movie to happen, there's progression, so
Yeah.
it works in that way. I think it's
Talking
smart.
about writing.
Yeah,
This
really
movie's written
smart.
by David
David
Written
Kep.
by
Kep,
one of our
yes, the
guys, yeah.
goat,
Um
the goat, David
it's
Kep.
actually in David Fincher, he said that he always liked Panic Room because it's not precious and David Kep's writing is not precious.
That's like true though, yeah.
No, yeah, no,
It's
it's true,
like
yeah. Um
I do appreciate that about his script. I don't know. That I again, and we're like a very pro him podcast in a way that maybe some other people might not be because he's
David
definitely
Kep has
like
written bad movies. I'm going to throw that
yeah,
out there. But
sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
yes, we
of
do.
sure.
course. Yeah. I
I mean,
also it tends I think tends to be it's almost I think unless you're just like somebody who regularly works with like the greatest living directors, if you're just like a screenwriter who's been around for decades and just like function as a screenwriter from script to script, it's like impossible to have a
Yeah, well,
perfect film
David
on.
Yeah,
Kep's
no,
like
like
a
It's like there's no
studio, like
yeah,
yes.
for
there's no
hire guy.
way.
We're like,
Yeah.
it's like Fincher or Soderbergh or whoever is like going to David Kep and be like, "This is my idea. Help me write this idea." It's like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
there's only
But
so
like
much like
But
so much he can
you
do.
can
Where it's like
yeah, you
he's
as a
in
writer, you can't avoid
yeah,
like
especially when
you
someone
can't
else is
have a
telling
perfect
you like what is
reputation.
good and what is bad. Like they're kind of
like
proofreading it.
Panic
Yeah.
Room, I think, is just was a script that David Kep wrote and then just sold to the studio, and then David Fincher like went to the studio and like read a bunch of scripts and was like, "Oh, I could do this."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um
We could speak about the
Yeah, I
Fincher
mean, I
side of
guess
things as
Ridley Scott was
well.
apparently briefly attached.
Oh, was he?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which
Um
is interesting.
Interesting.
A
Uh,
million people were briefly attached to this movie
Really,
actually.
let's. Oh, in terms of actors, or are we
Yeah,
talking?
actors. Like every
Yeah,
actor in this movie was
yeah,
initially supposed to be
yeah.
somebody else.
Which is interesting.
Most
how much?
notably, what
Sorry.
do you say?
No, you keep going.
Well, I was gonna say most notably is Nicole Kidman was supposed to be the Jodie
Right.
Foster role and the lead,
Yeah,
and then that
That
she got
makes sense.
recast or like had to like not be in the movie, and then they had to find Jodie Foster. But then Nicole Kidman did.
fine, Jodie Foster.
She's on the
Yeah, they
phone.
had to find Jodie Foster. They found her on the street.
That's
She was begging for a role.
no, that's not what happened.
What
But
I
then
was going to ask is how much money the movie made because I didn't realize it was a success though. 200
Jodie
million
Foster's
worldwide.
older than Nicole Kidman, though, right?
Yes,
No,
but
how old's Nicole Kidman?
not. I don't
Oh, I
think
guess only a
they're.
few years, only 4
Yeah,
years.
they can't be that much in age.
Nicole Kidman just looks
Yeah,
eternally like she's in her.
yeah, she's just
Sure.
like she just like doesn't age.
Um, and
Well, yeah, because
no,
I guess we're just not, with something you've seen Nicole Kidman leading these movies now. And I wouldn't think of Jodie Foster as as leading a
well, no,
movie recently.
yeah. Well, it's also
Oh,
it's
she
like,
led a TV show.
even in this movie, right? Thinking about like Nicole Kidman would have been so different. Like just brought
Yeah, it would
like
be
kind
like
of a
a
really
she would
different
have like a
energy.
it would be like a young mom sort of thing. When Nicole, what's it called? Jodie Foster kind of has this older woman vibe.
I just like
Not
also
older,
well
but
also
like
just like the nature of her as a mother. I
yeah,
think
no, for sure.
I think that Jodie Foster just fits the character a lot more. I think like one of the things that
Yeah,
that the movie does well, both from the perspective of like that Forrest Whitaker character I mentioned, but then also more specifically with Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart, is that it's just like people really caring about their children. And I think it's like a little bit, I think the relationship between Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart, which is like only, pretty briefly established before they're just trapped in a room together, it is like a lot more believable because it's Jodie Foster. Again, it's like I guess it's
yeah. No,
impossible
I
to
mean,
tell what it could have been. Like, maybe I would have believed it if it was Nicole Kidman.
yeah,
I'm sure I would have, but like,
sure.
There's like
but
moments where I'm watching the movie and I'm not thinking about this the whole time, but it just like there's like moments where I'm watching the movie and like towards the end, right, where Jodie Foster has to put on a face and talk to the police, right? The way
Yeah,
that Jodie Foster does it and the way that I feel like I think Nicole Kidman would have
yeah,
kind of
it's just like
delivered that
very
same,
different.
it would have been so different, right? I feel like
Yeah,
Nicole Kidman would have been played it so much bigger and
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that scene
That's such a
is like
great
kind of
scene, though.
perfect Jodie Foster acting. Like that is like kind of what
Yeah,
she's
I
known for.
I haven't seen a lot of films with Jodie Foster in it, and like this was something where I was like, I obviously hear about her being, one of the great actors. But this is I watched this and I'm like, oh yeah, like because there's so many actors where I'm like they're talked about in length. I'm like, yeah, they're fine. But this is a movie where I was like, oh, Jodie Foster's just unreal. Like this is really impressive to the point of like, oh, now I'd go out and watch something just because Jodie Foster's the lead
yeah,
because of
now
this.
you're gonna watch Naiad. You wouldn't watch
Yeah,
it
exactly.
before, but
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. No, but
Whereas
like I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that. Like I haven't seen some of the big ones.
oh,
I thought you
No,
had.
no.
you
The
haven't
only
seen Silence of the Lambs?
I've
That
seen
is pretty
three.
crazy.
I've seen 3 movies that Jodie Foster's in. This, Taxi Driver, and Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
You've also seen like 3 or 4 Jonathan Demme movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, maybe like
But also
3.
like it's just like I'm
Yeah, but it's like it's like
I get that. I think we talked about this maybe on our like Q&A episode because this happens to me with like Die Hard where people are always like you haven't seen Die Hard, but I do feel like it's even harder to go this far into your life without watching Silence of the Lambs. Like Die Hard is like
yeah, but
I
I
think
want
a
to watch
little bit
Contact, Robert Zemeckis instead.
more avoidable.
Contact is probably good. I
It's
feel like I watched that
probably
as a kid.
fine.
Yeah, it
This
probably
movie's
is.
probably so good. Jodie Foster,
I
Matthew McConaughey.
I did just see
We'll
her
be back
in
in 3 months with our Contact episode.
Probably
uh
not. Fuck it. Who fucking knows? Anything's possible.
yeah,
Anything is
anything's possible.
possible.
We're doing Panic Room.
We're doing
Panic
Panic
Room.
Room.
You guys have a piston a Pistons?
Yeah, I have
Pistons?
my
a-
Pistons opinion
Yeah.
is they should have never got rid of Sekou Doumbia, bro.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you have opinions on Kristen Stewart since we were talking about Jodie Foster?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Speaking of mispronunciations,
yeah, I know, right?
Doug
I
loves to fucking say Kristen Stewart's name wrong.
She's good in the movie. It's so again going back into this. Every person in this movie was supposed to be somebody else. Fincher said that the first kid that they got to play this role was initially like a really like a very feminine kind of like girly girl like in their presentation and like the way that they act, right? Before they you know before Chris you fucked me up. Kristen Stewart.
I told you.
Joined, and he was talking about Kristen Stewart's like acting style, and he said something interesting where he said that, and I don't know how old this thing he said was, but he said that she isn't a like a performer really. She just kind of like acts so naturally like herself, and she just brings herself so much into the roles so naturally, where it's like that he said that he doesn't think that she could ever fall into like a child actor problem where she ends up on like trash TV or something.
Fair.
But she's really good in this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of an all-time mother-daughter casting in terms of like two of, you know, Kristen Stewart would go down to be like one of the great actresses, and that's kind of them two together is really is a joy to watch, and they get so many great moments in the film, which like that alone kind of makes the movie worth checking out just to see those two, act together.
Yeah. Did you guys want to talk about Fincher's direction at all? Because we talked about the script before we got to before we got to Fincher, which is kind of the reason
The
why we're doing the
craziest
episode. But
the craziest thing about this movie is that the entire movie was previs. So like every single shot. So okay, what does that mean? Somebody might be asking, right? They pre-visualized the entire movie in a computer before they started shooting anything, right? So the whole house set that was built, they made a replica of that digitally, and then they like had a digital camera that they planned out all the shots with all of the like digital actors with their dimensions in the camera, and they did that for every single shot in the entire movie. And there's actually, because they did that, there were moments where Nicole Kidman is taller than Jodie Foster, so they prevised some of the shots and played it around a taller actress. So now Jodie Foster is sitting on a box in some shots because of that. But that and this is the first movie to ever like really utilize because it came out in 2002, to really utilize like digital technology like that. And I think that's really interesting and really
Yeah.
and I think Fincher said it like he spent like $300,000 doing that before
Crazy.
I don't know, big decision,
Crazy,
like
yeah.
um,
I think
that's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is really interesting. I do like how they navigate the house. And maybe I'm just dumb, but like at the beginning of the movie, I was both like really intrigued by how we go around the house, and at the same time, like a little bit confused by the layout of the house, because there's just like sometimes where I was confused about. I didn't realize until like later in the movie, once they broke in, that like Jodie Foster is on the second floor and Kristen Stewart's on like the floor above her. But then they're like breaking in and they're like talking about the basement, but then nobody ever goes in the basement until like way later. And so I kept thinking that when they were referring to the basement, they were just referring to the ground floor. And I was like, why are we moving between the floors like this? And then I kind of like caught on eventually. But the actual like moving through the house, I thought was really neat. I just the layout of the house confused me at first. I don't know. I think I was just dumb. I think I was just dumb when I was watching it. I was
Yeah,
like, I don't know
maybe.
why.
Well,
Like, I don't know why I'm so confused by this house.
It's pretty. I don't know. I think it's pretty simple.
No, yeah, it
But
is.
I
It is
that's why I'm such a big fan of this movie, maybe over some of his other more like canonized works, because of the location and the utilizing that. Because he talked about, I was just reading like some of the Wikipedia thing, when talking about how like Fight Club has so many locations
Yes.
and there's so many, and he makes, and I was watching Zodiac, and then there's this, it's a long, this long movie where all these different, there's almost like this epic nature to some of his films. Benjamin Button, there's a very long kind of journey we're going on here, and there's something about this like tight Hitchcock, one location thriller thing that really pushes my buttons in a way that I much prefer in terms of like a,
Pushes your buttons positive,
yeah, no, it
not pushes your buttons negative.
yeah, no, it's like a
Yeah.
positive negative pushing, what positive.
Yeah, try again. It's okay.
How did you get confused there?
Woo. Yeah, no, it's great. I love all. I mean, there's so much of all the screens that they're all the kind of screens that they're showing is super, almost a Palma in that way. So yeah, that's something. There's something about this tight thriller that really works for me more. And I think it's directing it in this movie especially, and I think a lot of it has to do with that previous. There's so many really interesting kind of ways that he navigates in it. It's almost like with limitations, you really get creative. So we're in this house for that whole time, and
Yeah,
I think
I was
there's a lot of interesting ways that he navigates the place.
I was going to ask you. I didn't end up asking you guys this because I thought you'd be annoyed. But now that we're on the subject of it, I was going before recording the podcast. I was going to ask you guys to have a list, not for draft purposes, but rather for just listing things purposes of your favorite kind of one location chamber piece type of movies. I didn't ask you guys for that list, but if you have, I mean, you already mentioned Hitchcock, I guess. I don't know if you guys have any other ones off the top of your head that you
Yeah, I
really
mean,
like.
Rope is the one, right?
Oh, Rear Window
Alfred
too, I
Hitchcock.
guess.
Oh, well, yeah, Rear Window as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Well,
Rear Window is pretty much one location. I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah.
even when they leave the apartment, they're like in the greater apartment area. Like they're just
Yeah,
it's just another
but
apartment.
I'm
Rope
trying to
takes place
think of.
entirely in one room, which is kind of
Yeah, no,
crazy.
Rope is
Um,
awesome.
Yeah.
Or well, technically more than one room, I guess, because they go from
all
it's
the
like one.
doors
It's
are
like
open though, so it's
sure,
like
yeah, but it's
it's
like
okay.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Those are yeah. The Hitchcock stuff, when I was like looking at some of them, the Hitchcock stuff was like the immediate ones that I thought
I'm
of.
trying to
I
find
don't
like
know.
a
It
list. I can't
depends.
find a list.
Yeah, it
And
depends how
people
much you
love to
like.
compare this movie to Rope though, also.
Yeah, okay. I mean that makes sense. I was gonna say it
Yeah,
depends
it's
how much
super. I
you
mean, it's
like
just super
stretch
Hitchcock.
the definition of one location because like I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I guess like you can't really like it's like if the movie takes place in one location, let's say,
Yeah.
but there are like several locations in that location. Would you still like for example, the one movie I was thinking of when I was going through my favorite movies was like Clue, which is a big mansion, and they never leave the mansion. Like the mansion is just one location,
Yeah.
but you're going throughout the whole mansion in the
Well,
movie.
that's what
So,
I'm
like,
looking
would you
at.
consider it one? But
Yeah.
like, also Panic
Right.
Room, you're going through multiple floors of the house. Like, there's, so it's like,
Or like, what about a movie like Wreck, right? Or the Spanish horror movie, where it's
right,
like,
okay,
I mean, there's a little bit at the beginning, but like the whole movie takes place in an apartment building. So they're in the
yeah,
lobby of the building, and then the end of the movie takes place in an apartment on the top floor.
Yeah.
Is that still
yeah.
one location, or
I
are
was
we
gonna say, I
talking
was like, because
like,
I think it's fine if movies have setups or resolutions that leave the room, as long as the whole
Yeah.
movie, like the whole bulk of the movie, takes place in one place. I think if you have a setup that like brings you to that place or a resolution where you leave that place, that's okay. Like that's not
or
included. I
what
think.
about like Snowpiercer?
I was gonna say Snowpiercer was on my list where I was like, I think Snowpiercer counts because
There's
they
a
move through the
million
train, but it's
locations.
like,
Well,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
like
is
like
one
every
location.
there's
train
a
cart
million.
is its
Yeah,
own
There's a
like
million
thing.
rooms. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
yeah,
there's like
there's a
a
million
million
rooms, but I think
But it's
it's
like it's more
important
like
that
one
like
location versus one room movie.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
important that you feel like the claustrophobia of the setting where there's no escaping the actual setting, which is why I would still like include Clue or Snowpiercer because it's like even when you move to different rooms, like you're not leaving the place. Like you're stuck at the place. So like
So like
in Snowpiercer,
Evil
you move through
Dead.
the rooms, but like you're never getting off the train, like you're stuck on the train.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
mean,
like location for you
in
to
Wolf of
escape
Wall
to.
Street, they're moving through the world, but they're never
Okay.
leaving Earth. You
Jesus
know,
Christ. All
like
right.
Wolf of
You
Wall
get what
Street,
I'm
my
saying
favorite
though. It's
one
like
location.
I thought of
um,
Dog Day Afternoon too. Like they're technically trapped in there.
or
Mhm.
what about a movie that we've covered on the podcast, Gremlins 2? The whole movie takes place
A
in the
big
office
location.
building. Like it's
Yeah.
but it's like it's a
Yeah.
really big
I guess
building.
that does stretch the definition a little
You know
bit.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Because they
I don't
go to
know.
so many. Yeah, that building is huge. I don't
Well,
know.
I was thinking,
That almost makes me want to not count Clue
yeah.
because of how much you can stretch the
Well,
definition
oh, I
depending on
mean,
the size of the location. Like
I
would
guess
then
not.
Twilight of the Warriors count since we were talking about that before? Like
That's a
technically they're
city.
in the
That's a whole
walled city.
city.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
they're
whole
in the
city.
walled
Yeah.
city the whole time.
Like is every Woody Allen movie single location?
Okay.
No, because
Or
sometimes they go to different cities.
okay, okay.
Sometimes it's like
Um,
they're in
or
multiple
even
cities.
like I guess like Alien probably counts
Oh yeah, Alien
because
counts.
it's like
Yeah.
it's a spaceship, but then she gets in a different like the shuttle at the end of the movie, and then now she's not
Well,
in
that's
that
what I'm saying. Like
spaceship.
if it's like, I think it's a percentage thing. Like if you're in 90% one location and then like the beginning or the end is like leaving and going there, I think it like.
Right.
Well, but I think if you leave the place anywhere in the middle, then it doesn't count.
Well, that's what I was sort of bringing up. Like trap is like one location then one location. It's like there's like split. There's a split of like
Oh, but they
it's almost
go
two.
throughout multiple like from the journey between
Oh,
the
true. Yeah,
concert
I know.
venue
It's
and the
almost like
house, and
trap is
then like
like it's like
after
one
it's
location for like
Trap
a
has
good
too many
chunk, and then we
locations.
like leave. I'm just thinking about like
Yeah. No, I
those
get what
sort
you're
of
saying.
things.
I do think a percentage is important, but I think the
Like
percentage, I think it has to be a continuous thing in the locate. Like you can't be broken up by going to other locations. It could only be
Mm.
bookended by
What
locations.
about like Dog Day Afternoon,
we
I
where
brought this
like
literally
up.
just said that 2
This
minutes
is
ago.
this is already
Al
brought up.
Pacino is in the bank,
I
but then
already said
but
that
then
movie.
everybody else is in a different building
I
across the
literally already
street, and
said
we
that
cut
movie.
between that, and we cut between
I
them.
think Dog Day Afternoon counts because like you're
Right.
feeling the pressure of the one location for the character who you're following.
Right. Right.
I don't
There's
know.
this.
I mean, it's confused. Yeah, you could stretch the definition a little bit. The other big one that I had for like my favorite movies, which is like actually fits the definition, is The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant, because that movie takes place literally in one room. Like I guess technically two rooms, but pretty much almost the entire movie is in one room. So that is like there's no
Yeah.
stretching the definition there. It's like the movie just starts and stops in that
Oh,
room. They never even leave that room.
Robert
So.
Zemeckis here.
Oh, okay. Oh, uh, that exists in its own category.
It's in one room the whole
No,
time.
it is literally single location. Yes,
It's
it's
just
actually
it's
yeah.
spanning.
It's single location and like and it's annoying for this conversation, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Because it's like
sure.
years and
Or
years
yeah,
and years.
yeah.
But
I'm still looking at. So I don't know. It's interesting what would count and what wouldn't. We probably shouldn't dwell on this too much, but I just wanted to bring up other ones.
is Titanic single location?
Literally no.
They're in
No,
that
No,
boat the
literally
whole
like
time.
there's like an extended part at the beginning and at the
No,
end they're
no,
on a
but that
different
like that part
and like the
doesn't,
whole
matter.
narrative thing
That's
is about
not real.
is about
That's
her
not real.
not being on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's just like
No, yeah. I mean, that's
we
you
gotta talk
can't
about.
even really.
No, but they're like it's like they're on the Titanic.
It's
the whole
not.
time.
There's not even really a case for it. I can't believe you even brought it up. To be honest.
I
Or
think it's
it's like
worth a while.
is the descent is that single location?
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, they're in a big ass cave.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know.
But don't they like? Isn't there like a whole section of the movie where they like have to get to the cave? It's like a
Yeah,
whole
like
big.
it's like they hike down to the cave.
Okay, and then
they're in the
they
cave.
never. Oh, well, don't spoil the movie, I guess, because I want to watch it. So.
Yeah,
Also, I'm gonna
don't
say
talk
it. I'm
about
gonna say it. There's something else in the cave with them.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, this is like the Descent I'm familiar with because it's like the loose inspiration for something like The Forest, which is a game that I really like. Like The Forest is just like very much the plot of The Descent. But now we're going way on a tangent. Back to Panic's room.
So I guess
Panic's
Rear
room. Panic
Window
Room's
is
one
my
location.
favorite. I guess Rear
Yeah,
Window would be
okay.
my favorite.
Rear Window would be
if
your
you-
favorite. Oh, and do you
I
have
guess,
a favorite after all the ones we threw out there?
Yeah, Wavelength by Michael Snow is
Okay.
my favorite one location film.
True. That's
I
a that's a
guess.
brilliant. You know what? But honestly, that like you know what? Putting it in that box kind of creates an interesting conversation about wavelength because it's kind of two locations, right? Because it's kind of like we start off we're in the room, but then at the end we're in the ocean.
Mhm.
That's real when we're in a photo of an ocean.
No, but like
It's still
but
in the
but
room, but it's
no. But Owen. But like but that's like the power of cinema is like we're in the
yeah,
photo of the ocean, but
we're in the
like
ocean.
we're in the ocean because it's a movie.
Does
Um,
does the Passion of Joan of Arc count?
We're
I
in
don't
that
know.
room. Yeah, they're in that room. They're
Right? Like
talking.
they're mostly just like talking in the one place for like the whole movie, right?
But to go back to how this started, yeah, so David Fincher said that he was kind of like drawn to this David Kep script because when he was making Fight Club, like when they were shooting Fight Club, he felt like 90% of the time he was just watching trucks be unloaded onto sets.
Yeah.
And he said
No
that
more
was
trucks.
yeah, no more trucks, just one set.
Do you think
Um,
about the aspect of the home invasion that the guy that Forrest Whitaker's character installs these systems, and so like he knew about it, and that's how they do the home break-in? Do you have a method to which you would steal money from a home?
Nope.
no.
Okay. Do you think you could pull off a successful home robbery?
Well, you're
You
like
think you
so you
Not
could
know
a,
how
plan? You think you could plan a? This isn't even really a heist. It's like
but your question is
a
like,
home
you know how
invasion.
Forrest Whitaker has like this really specific specialized
No, no,
knowledge
no,
to
no.
do a
I'm
home
saying
invasion?
those are two separate things. Those are two separate thoughts. I just
um,
that in your planned home invasion, there is no like
no, it's like you
there's
do a
no
lot of
there's no
research. You like
solidified panic room. You just have to plan how to break into a home with a single mother and her
but there's
child.
no panic
And
room.
there's no panic room, but there's a safe in the
It's
house.
just Jodie Foster
no, you
and
do
baby
Home
Stewart.
Alone. You do what they do in Home
You
Alone. You Home
do Home
Alone it.
Alone.
No, you just
You
wait for them to
wait.
leave. You just wait.
What if it was Home Alone directed by David Fincher, but it was just Case Stewart instead?
Home Alone, directed by David Fincher, is kind of like that's a crazy movie. That's a really good movie.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie. There's a Home Alone
Whoa.
Maybe
joke in
we
this
should do an
movie.
episode of the pod where we just think of the best combinations of classic movies directed by directors that we like, and do just like hypothetical
We just
scenarios
name shit.
about directors just like
There's
doing a
like that.
random classic film.
That's like Quentin Tarantino's book. He has a whole chapter about what if Brian De Palma directed Taxi Driver, where he just like his like theoretically like breaking it down, like how
Yeah.
it would have been.
We should do that as an episode. Drop a
That would be
comment if we should do a theoretical movies episode.
Drop some
yes.
theories in the chat.
I think that sounds like fun.
That does sound like fun. Maybe we could next time we have to do an episode like this, we could just do that instead.
Yeah,
Next
that's true.
time we don't have an episode, we can just
That
yell at
episode
the
kind of
screen.
requires like a lot
Oh,
of research and planning, though. I feel like
not a
we would
lot.
need
We don't
not
have to
a
name like 50, but like
sure, not a lot, but like I feel like it would be nice to go into that episode with
We could just talk
some
about
with
David Fincher Home Alone for 30 minutes.
her. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I don't want to just like pitch ideas. I want to also think about what the films would be.
right. Yeah, here's
So
my
like it's not
idea.
just like yeah.
What if David Fincher directed The Girl with the Spider Web? The Girl in the Spider Web.
Okay, that's still not the name. You repeated the name, so
The the
I don't
girl
think you're saying the
the
name right
the
still.
girl in the spider's web.
There
I
you
got
go.
it. I got
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah. It took 3 tries,
Oh,
but
Jesus Christ.
did you guys like it though as like a home invasion movie where you what was it tense for you?
Yeah.
Do you think that it carries the momentum the whole way through, or do you think that like closer to the end you started to like not be as nervous or maybe not you know.
I think it's pretty good. I think it has a pretty good sense of like pace and tone to like create this kind of
Right.
suspense.
Yeah.
But I will say David Kep's script is a little obvious here. I think that you pick up
Sure.
really early on that like, oh, Forrest Whitaker's not going to let these people die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like
I
I think I like
agree.
his
I
character
like that
a lot.
aspect of
I
it
like
though.
there is this kind of I like the way that the three different guys have their own kind of things going on, and there's this kind of turmoil in there. Because if they were,
Yeah.
more brutish and simple, it would be not really a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
turns into The Strangers.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that because we were talking about one location movies, but then there's also like this entire subgenre that we
Home
could talk about of
invasion.
like home invasion movies and
Yeah.
what the best home invasion movies are. We don't have to start listing those, but
It's a pretty
it's
poor
just like
genre,
sure,
to be
it's like funny
honest.
games and then
Yeah.
everything else, I guess. I don't know unless
Yeah, it's
there's
like literally funny games and then everything else.
I'm sure there's like another one that I'm forgetting, or maybe one that I haven't seen. But no, what you were saying, I agree that it's predictable. I also think that the only like
Oh, Death Game.
super, what did you say?
Death Game from 1977 is a great
Oh, okay.
home invasion movie.
The only like super interesting idea in the movie for me that I really like about that character and like the reason why I really like that character is like this stuff where he like mentions his daughter and when he has to like help Kristen Stewart in the panic room and he's like saying that like he's like talking about his own daughter and how he like wishes he could like have this house for his daughter. And I think the movie doesn't like totally explore it, but I think it's like an interesting idea to have that character there and like contrast his life with Jodie Foster's life and show like, oh, she's just like this rich white woman
Yeah.
living in like this luxurious place in the city, and he has to like break in to
Yeah,
get
Forrest
the money
Whitaker's
that
not
he
a
needs.
bad
Like,
guy. He's just kind of
yeah, like
has
he just like,
circumstances where
yeah,
he has
exactly,
forced to do something like this to.
yeah, but it's like both of them care about their children, which is like
Mhm.
sweet. And I think, yeah, I don't know, I really, it's the reason why the ending of the movie like really got me because
Mhm.
I don't know, he's just kind of like the perfect guy to play a character like that. Like
Yeah, no, he's fantastic.
yeah, I don't know, did you guys want to mention anything else maybe about other big
Well,
ideas in the
so
movie that you liked? Or
what was Jared Leto's plan, bro? Like they kind of like say this in the movie where they were like, what was he thinking before what they do to him? But
yeah,
it's like literally, what was his plan?
well,
Like,
I think like I think that's kind of just like his whole character is that like he is uh spoiled and also like riding the knowledge of Forrest Whitaker. Like it's just like I think your plan when somebody is smarter than you and you're a dumbass is just like, oh, this is gonna work out because there's like a guy who knows how to do this thing. So it's
Mhm.
just like I think his plan was just like show up and let Forrest Whitaker go to work, But also
Yeah.
I think you got to know your personnel a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because it's like Forrest Whitaker ends up being a real kind of uh, good-hearted like man with a moral code as to how he wants to execute this home invasion. Like a detail revealed pretty early in the movie is that Jared Leto didn't tell Forrest Whitaker that anybody would be home. He said that nobody would be home because they assume technically nobody was supposed to be home from their plan, but then Kristen Stewart and Jodie Foster are already moved in, and so like I don't know. I mean, I guess you can't. I guess you can't plan for something that you didn't expect like that, but also I feel like you should know a little bit more about Forrest Whitaker's character before you do a home invasion with him. And also the Dwight Yoakam character, I feel like you definitely
Yeah, that
that
guy is
dude's
so
that dude's
gross.
a real loose cannon.
That guy
That
is
guy's a
that
real
guy is
jerk,
that guy is scary.
I feel
Ra-
like you,
what is his name? Raul.
yeah, Raul,
Raul.
which is like,
Yeah,
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 which is like, yeah.
that's a good name.
yeah, no, it is a good name.
No, he's a slime ball. He's like, fucking
Yeah,
kill
no,
the
he is.
kid.
Yeah, no, he's like crazy. He's just like insane. He's
Yeah.
like awful. That's
There's
what I'm
almost
saying. I'm
like
like,
there's like a
what does he
progression of
know
like
about this guy?
insanity between the three of them, where he's like,
Also, what? Why even? I still don't really understand. Like why is this guy here? What's
Well,
like,
for so somebody needs to be there to shoot people for
yeah,
like the
exactly. Well,
narrative,
yes,
like
yeah, no, of course. Like he needs to be there in that regard. But like you posed the question of like what was Jared Leto's plan, and it's like I
yeah,
feel
no, what
like
was Jared's little
I
plan
feel
with that guy? Also, yeah, it's
because it's
exactly.
like your plan. Part of your plan was the assumption that nobody is home. So why did you bring a guy with a gun?
Yeah.
Unless
And then
you're
Forrest Whitaker instantly doesn't like that guy, and he's like, "Who is this guy?" And then he goes, "I'm Raul."
yeah, unless like the bigger part of the plan was just that when you got to the money, you would kill Forrest Whitaker, but then you just brought in another guy with a gun to have to split the money with instead of Forrest Whitaker, because that guy's just going to shoot you if you don't split the money with him. In fact, he might just shoot you anyway and then take all the money.
Right.
So
Well, but that's the get where I'm like, what's this plan about? Because they told
that's what,
them that
it's
there was
really
$6
not thought
million
out at all.
and there was
Yeah.
$22 million.
Yeah, that's the other. It's
Yeah,
like you brought a
like,
guy with a gun, and then you're gonna lie to them about the money that they can see. Like they know you can't hide it. Like, and also you're not. It's not even like I. It's funny because I was looking at Jodie Foster movies, and I just watched Inside Man, which Jodie Foster is in, and like in Inside Man, the Clive Owen character is like this mastermind when he breaks into the bank, and he has like everything thought out like to a T. Like he knows every detail of what is going to happen, and so he's prepared for all of it, and like he knows which parts of that plan he has to be a part of. But from Jared Leto's perspective, it's like, that Forrest Whitaker is the guy getting you into the panic room, and so you can't hide the money once you get there, because you're not even going to be the first guy to the money, because
yeah.
someone else.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
what I was. That's literally what I was thinking. Where it's like Forrest
like, you
Whitaker is
can't even-
opening the safe. How are you lying to him about the money?
It's like a terribly executed plan. It's like, this might be an all-time worst executed heist that you could. I mean, sure, that is part of it. Like, it's like there are other movies like this where the person doing it is a dumbass, and that is like the setup for the story. Like the story only exists because it's not a good plan. But sometimes technically, I guess it's usually like it backfires, right? Is like there's like a lot of movies where like people, what's the like Don't Breathe is like a recent example where they break into the person's house, and then they're actually the ones trapped. Like they had the plan to do. Like I feel like that's a common thing. I can't think of another example off the top of my head, but I feel like I feel like that happens often, where it's like people like have this like dumb idiots have a plan, and then the plan backfires against them, and like they're the ones that are actually like trying to survive.
And Heretic, the Mormons.
Yeah, there you go. Like Heretic is another
soul.
Example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's like a little bit different, I guess.
It is very different, but yes.
But it's the same idea where it's like you're dumb and you like do something.
Yeah, you stupid Mormon.
Well, yeah, except
Facts.
they can shoot though. Those not
Oh,
those two
from
girls.
deep.
Not those two girls, but the
You're
white
talking
I
about
mean,
boys
I
over-
feel like
white
Sophie
boys over
Thatcher
at
as a
BYU can
flamethrower.
shoot. I don't know, man. Also,
Sophie
like,
Thatcher
is this
almost
part
went to the
of-
W.
Because you have to think about this from the perspective of
Sophie
like,
Thatcher almost went to the W. She
You
plays
have
soccer,
to-
buddy. Haven't you seen Yellow Jackets?
oh, true, yeah,
I mean, ball skills translate.
yeah, I guess that's also true. Okay, don't do that. What the fuck are you
Don't
doing?
make those faces. At me,
Yeah, don't
Douglas.
do that. No, but like when you think about Jimmer Fredette and how iconic he is as a shooter, you have to consider: is there a Mormon regiment? Like, do they teach these white Mormons how to shoot the rock? Like,
I mean, it's all they can. Like, it's like, what else are they gonna do, right? They gotta. It's like, you have
pray?
your
do
weaknesses.
you think that it's prayer? Do you think that their shooting is?
Yeah,
it
no. I mean, chucking up
thrives
threes
on
is always
prayer?
prayers. Just praying.
Well, man, yeah, your shot for sure. But
you just got chuck and pray.
some of us know how to shoot the ball. But...
Man, BYU, all you do is chuck and pray.
Yeah, I don't know. Just very, very skilled shooters on
Yeah, but I mean, when you're lacking
impressed.
athleticism, you have to kind of make it up by.
Are you saying that because they're white? You're saying white people
Yes.
can be athletic?
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Okay. It's funny because I was talking about this. I was talking about this
You've already here
with
first.
somebody else, but it's like it must be so silly to be like one of the 10 to 20 student athletes at BYU who is just like not at all into the Mormon shit, but you just got like a full ride scholarship for athletics. So you're just like, I'm not gonna say no to a full ride to play at a good program.
You have to sign like a
sure,
but like that doesn't mean that you like actually.
They have
it,
like the
though.
next year BYU like has the #1 high school recruit next year. Like he's not Mormon. At least I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like there's at least like half of that BYU basketball team who are just like guys who just got paid a bunch of money to come play at BYU, and it's just like, you know, it must be so weird to be one of those guys and show up to class.
And like
every
all
day
your
just,
friends
like,
are just like soaking it on Thursdays. It's like
I saw a comment today of like a clip of
you're trying to have normal sex, but all of your classmates like are like so like super weird about it, and then you're like, okay, whatever. I got a full ride though.
I saw a comment.
That's not your one and done, man, because you can't be soaking.
on the BYU. It was like a clip of the end of the BYU versus Wisconsin game, and like after like BYU winning at the end, and then the top comment was like, I bet these guys are really soaking in the win. That's silly. Do we have anything else
where
to
have
say
we
about
gotten
Panic
to?
Room?
We've gotten
Yeah,
far
so
off.
like the really good scene where Forrest Whitaker opens up the safe.
Yes.
What are some of what are like the best safe opening scenes? I think like there's like one that's like obvious it's above all the other ones, but off the top of my
What's the
head,
one you're thinking of?
But yeah, what do you think of?
Thief, Michael Mann.
Oh, okay,
I haven't
sure.
seen
That
it.
that one
Yeah.
is like
That's like
so like
that's like a detailed
yeah,
process.
and it
I don't
and
know.
it
I'm
looks
thinking,
like amazing because it's the Michael Mann movie.
does the
Um,
Oceans movies have a good one? I don't know. I'm
They
thinking
have a
of like
lot of
big.
them.
Sure,
well,
yeah.
what
I'm thinking of like
or
where I would find the best safe
Fast and the
opening scene. Oh,
Furious,
sure. But that's not like a
right?
safe
They open the
opening.
safe.
Sure, I guess, but that's not like you're saying the iconic part of it is the opening of the safe.
Yeah, I guess that is what I'm saying.
So it's not just scenes involving a safe.
They
Which is
also
what
like
Fast
in
and
the
Furious.
Dark Knight, right? They open a safe
Oh,
at the
sure, yeah.
beginning.
At the beginning, that is a
Yeah,
pretty iconic one, I guess. But again, I don't think I don't think the actual opening of the safe is
yeah.
the
It's kind of like
iconic
everything.
part.
It's like all the other
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like
Yeah.
literally everything else. I'm trying to think of like what a good, you know, I don't know. Also, you really sprung that one on me. I guess I
I
sprung the
was
other
just
ones
thinking
on
it. I
you.
mean, I
Yeah,
was just like,
we're just
I just like
springing.
was thinking it when we
Let
were
me look up
talking here.
let me look up heist movies
Okay.
and then see which
I'm
ones
looking
have
at Jodie
safes involved.
Foster's filmography. These look kind of bad. Some of these movies.
Okay. Rotten Tomatoes, 88 best heist movies of all time. You guys want to do some guessing?
Sure.
No.
Fuck it. Did Owen say no?
88.
I mean, no, well, I'm not gonna do 88.
Okay, so like,
I'm gonna scroll down to the top 10.
are
I won't
all
actually.
three Soderbergh Ocean movies are going to
No,
be in
there's
the top
definitely
10?
not.
I'm gonna be honest.
Definitely at least the first one.
You guys are not gonna guess this. Maybe I need to find a different list.
Wait, no. What's
What?
number one?
I'll read you the top 10. So number 1, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Number
Oh,
shout
2
out
is
wait.
the
Number
original.
one
The original.
or the Tony Scott
yeah,
one?
1974. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more
Um,
sense.
the number 2 is The Lavender Hill Mob. Number 3 is The Lady Killers. Number 4 is The Friends of Eddie Coyle.
All
Number
right.
number 5 you would know, but you probably wouldn't guess, The Asphalt Jungle.
Oh,
Oh,
Number 6
yeah.
is Bob the Gambler. Number 7, modern
Bob
movie that you.
the Gambler.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie doesn't have a poster.
These are not real movies.
This movie is like no. The I didn't realize their knowledge.
It's
Like
a
their
Jean
bag
Pierre
was this deep.
Melville film. It's a Jean Pierre Melville
Oh.
film.
Oh.
I didn't realize
okay.
that this list would be like this real. I thought
Well,
it would be
because
like
it's
Hollywood
Rotten
movies.
Tomatoes,
This is
like
cool.
by like Rotten Tomato meter
Bob LaFlamber.
is how it's organized. Number 7 is I I don't think either of you have seen this movie, but I guess I could throw it out there for you to guess. It's a modern, like, Western heist movie. Modern as in it's come out in the last like 10 years.
Is it a remake?
I don't think so.
Is it a Mangold
Modern-
remake? Is it the
Modern
remake?
Western.
Yeah, what? They don't do that.
They don't do those.
That's not allowed.
I mean, you would know. You know this movie. It was nominated for Best Picture, and it has
Okay.
it has our boy. Well, I don't want to say this. That might be giving too many hints.
Our boy.
Even though you haven't seen it, it has a boy. It has an actor that we like,
As
who
a-
is not in enough good movies.
It has a boy that we like. That's an actor.
He's not a boy. He's quite grown. He's a man.
I don't know. What is it, bro? I don't know.
It's Hell or High Water, starring Chris Pine.
Oh, I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was a heist movie. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know.
It's like a bank robbery movie. They just like rob banks. It's not like heist exactly.
Okay.
Oh, it's like Toy Story
But-
3.
Number 8 is A Fish Called Wanda. Number 9 is Dog Day Afternoon, and number 10 is The Red Circle. So that list probably not guessable. Surely there's a better.
Dog Day Afternoon literally does not even count.
There's got to be. Oh, okay. How about this? How about we do this? Is one where you could probably guess the rankings. A Screen Rant article of the 25 best
Woohoo!
heist movies of all time ranked. Surely
Number
you
one
could
is
do
Ocean's
top
11.
10 for this one.
Number
But we're
one is
gonna
Ocean's
go.
11.
We're gonna go in. Oh wow. Okay. So just to give you a hint of of what the article has ahead. I'm going to
None
tell
of
you
the best
number
places,
11
maybe.
so that you can have an idea of what you're guessing. Number 11 is Widows from 2018. Number 12 is Baby Driver.
Oh fuck. Okay.
So we're at number 10. I will say number 10 is a classic and has already literally just been mentioned by Doug moments ago.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he said was not a heist movie, but
I
that's
mean, it
not
really isn't. It's like, I mean, it's a failed attempt at a heist, I guess. Right.
Number 9 would be hard for you to guess. You're not going to guess that. I feel like I should just say it.
Okay.
Number
Just say
9
it, I guess.
is
Fuck it.
is Rafifi from 1955.
Yeah, wasn't gonna.
Yeah, wasn't gonna guess
Wasn't gonna
that.
pull that out,
I guess I picked Screen Rant thinking this would be easier, and it's like
Rafifi.
it's like not.
I need
Okay,
to watch
number,
Rafifi though. It looks real
number
as fuck.
8. Number 8 is a popular one from a British filmmaker. His more recent movies kind of suck. You guys probably aren't like the biggest fans of him.
Danny Boyle.
but
I was
he-
gonna say we're talking about Danny Boyle, but no.
No. I mean, but you would like I think Doug has probably seen like at least this one, if I had to guess.
Are we talking about Edgar Wright here?
No, we are not. He's like
Who's
this guy makes a lot of stuff. One of his movies was adapted into a TV show recently. They made a TV version of it.
Who's British?
What? He's British.
He's British. He's
recent
British, and he had
movies?
I don't want to say it's an annoying movie, but like people kind of describe it often as an annoying movie. I kind of like it, but then they made it a TV show. This movie, the one that is on the list, stars Brad Pitt and then like a super British cast.
Oh, this is Guy Ritchie. You're talking about Snatch.
I am
Yes.
talking about
Bang,
Snatch,
bang, bang.
number 7, I don't think you would get either. It's How to Steal a Million from 1966.
No, I don't even. I've heard of Rafifi. I haven't heard of that.
Number 6. What the?
What?
What is this list, dude?
Oh, it's William Wyler. It's Audrey
Number
Hepburn.
6. Well, no, sure, no. I'm talking about the next movie on the list.
Oh,
It's not, and
yeah.
again, I'm not saying that this is a bad movie. I do not know this movie. I just thought that this would be like a much more obvious list, and it is becoming more apparent that that's not the case. Number 6 is called Ruben Brandt Collector. It's a Hungarian animated thriller.
Wait, chill on it, bro. It's probably fire.
No, it probably. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I thought this would be an easy
I
list for you
follow
to guess.
30 people that have seen this movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, not really. I'm joking.
Number
just
5 is Gambit from 1966. Number 4 you can get. This is like a silly one. This is like not.
The Bad Guys.
What is that shit called?
You're kind of in the right place, but like you.
With,
but
the
it's
Michael
it's,
Myers
it's,
movies.
Okay. Doug, think Bad Guys. Like you're talking about the animated movie, right? With the
Yeah,
animals?
the animated movie with the animals.
Think Bad Guys, but like if it was like a good movie made by like a real director that you like.
What? Rango.
No, I swear. This
What?
is like the perfect. This is like actually.
Rango?
I can't believe you said Bad Guys. This is a great setup. You just have to get in the headspace.
Is it it's a cartoon though? It's an animated movie.
Well, it involves animals.
We Bought a Zoo.
What?
Oh, we bought a zoo. It involves it's directed by one of the great living directors, especially if you ask Doug.
Babe 2. Pig in the City.
I don't know. What the fuck? I have no idea.
Want me to just tell
Animals?
you?
No.
Okay, you can get this. It's like think in the headspace of Bad Guys, like animals pulling off a heist,
Animals
but it's
pulling
like
off a heist.
directed by one of the great directors.
That part is what's throwing me off.
No,
Like,
it's like no,
what?
it's not, it shouldn't throw you off.
And
You
it's
really
not
could get into his
Babe
headspace.
Pig in the
He
City.
mostly does live action movies, but then he has a couple of these. One of which I haven't seen, but people say is not that good, and then this one is like beloved. This is like I think it's like a Letterboxd top 250 movie.
What?
I think it's like very. This is like no, I don't know if that's true. Let me fact check this. It is in the
Animal
Letterboxd
Heist?
top 250. It's number
Animal
164. It has a 4.3 on Letterboxd.
And it's animals pulling off a heist. Are we on this? It's a cartoon about animals pulling off a heist.
Well, it's like
What is The fuck?
Okay, yeah, you're
There's
giggling.
no way.
I'm not okay. I should specify because you keep saying cartoon. I don't want to give it away. It's like stop motion animated.
Oh, okay, but it's not a Henry Selick movie. It's
No.
no, it's it's not a Charlie Kaufman movie.
When you hear the answer, you're gonna be like, ah, fuck.
Stop
Wait,
It's
motion.
like
Stop
so
motion.
obvious
It's stop motion
about
movie.
animals pulling off a heist, and it's directed by and it's silly. It's like fun and silly and funny, but it's also like
It's
serious and about
it's
life, and it like makes you sad a little.
what the fuck are you talking
It's like
about?
it's like a warm, cozy. You'd watch it on like Thanksgiving or something.
Oh, it's
You know?
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
There you
Jesus
go.
Christ. Fuck.
Oh.
The
Oh.
Thanksgiving made it click. Yeah, duh.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh.
Number
So I was
3
like,
is a
who the
movie.
fuck?
Number
Yeah,
3 is a
it's-
movie that already got mentioned. A Fish Called Wanda. Number 2 is finally the Ocean's movie, Ocean's 11. And then can you get number 1? Number 1 heist movie according to Screen Rant.
Thief.
No, but you're close.
Heat.
Heat. There
Yeah.
you go.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough heist movies. If we don't have anything else to say about Panic Room, we can move on. Unless you guys wanted, unless there's something
They
that we
really
forgot.
beat the
We
shit
went
out
on
of that one guy.
a couple tangents. Who?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
the
Oh yeah, they
the
fucked him up. Yeah.
the stunt double that plays him, he passes out. He gets knocked out.
Oh damn.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like that they actually beat the
they
shit out of
fucked
him.
the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do that. Actually.
That's
Maybe
a
in the
good-
deleted scene.
in the director's cut,
but,
Jared Leto comes back.
Yeah, that did not happen. Anyway, that's Panic Room, and also 400 other movies that you can potentially watch.
Yeah, wow.
We're going to talk about some news. As usual, you can share some feedback if you like listening to us talk about Panic Room by liking, commenting, and subscribing on YouTube, rating the episode, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and following us at all of our links in the description. Also reminding you again to check out that Seed and Spark link as well, which will be in the description. We got a good amount of news here. I don't really know which one to start with. Well, let's do a piece of news that is actually not news anymore, I guess. Strange Darling filmmaker J.T. Molnar was rumored to be in talks to direct a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie with Glenn Powell potentially producing and starring. But after the news broke, J.T. Molnar tweeted, quote, "Don't believe everything you read." I looked into the Deadline article, which mentions that Verve, the agency with Texas Chainsaw's IP, is receiving lots of interest, but that they haven't submitted the property to any filmmakers or producers, just that packages are preemptively being brought to them. So I assume that is what led to JT Molnar being mentioned, but which means it could technically still happen.
I have
But
some
it also could just be
inside
somebody else.
I have some inside information here.
Okay.
JT Molnar tweeted, "Don't believe everything that you
Oh my
read."
God.
Doug is literally not listening to this.
No,
Doug-
fucking, I have to repeat it because it's part of what I have to say. I have to reiterate it, okay? Because I replied to that tweet. Fuck. God, I know you said that, okay? God, okay.
I
He
saw your
tweeted
reply.
that. Yes, I replied to that tweet and I said something negative. I said, "Thank fucking God," right?
Okay. Oh,
Kind
did he
of like-
block you?
He liked my tweet.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's not happening because of that. Yeah.
That's
'Cause he
funny.
liked your
But also,
tweet?
but also maybe he's liking it because it's happening. Maybe he's like,
Mm.
this guy.
It'd be funny
maybe-
if he blocked you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
I
actually.
I thought you would have blocked me, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess, that he just liked the tweet and like wasn't.
Yeah, well, he
annoying.
should make a good movie, maybe.
Sure, but, like,
So, yeah,
could appreciate him not letting the
I
haters get him
was
down.
I'm kind of like pro. Maybe you guys, I'm assuming you guys aren't, but
You're-
like I was kind of
You're
like
pro JT Molnar's Texas Chainsaw movie.
I was pro the idea of Glenn Powell doing Texas Chainsaw, and not in like the lead. I think like there's characters. in the
Well,
movie
I
that he could
assumed
play.
when they said it that he wasn't.
I was
actually
assuming he
going
would
to
be like
the lead.
he would be a part of like the creepy family thing. I was assuming that.
Okay,
that's
that
like,
would be kind of cool.
That's way more interesting.
That's what Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey did. He was like one of those like weird guys. So I was like,
But-
I think that would be cool. but it's like
Yeah,
not
that
JT
movie is
Mulner.
also like considered one of the worst movies of all time.
No, I know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that's what I was interested in. I was interested. I think Glenn Powell is like the movie star of Texas right now. Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre. I think you can make $1 million of those. Like it's fun. Do it. Cool.
Yeah.
But I just JT Mulner I think is a bad filmmaker. So that was the part
Also,
that was the part that ruined it for me. But I was interested in the idea of Glenn Powell doing Texas Chainsaw. Because if they're gonna do another one, Glenn Powell's that he seems right. Like that seems perfect, right? So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if Doug has insider information about this or if either of you know about that because part of what confused me about this, and maybe
Yeah.
I'm just dumb, but like when I was reading this article and like the phrasing that they use and the way that they talk about the Texas Chainsaw IP
Mm-hmm.
is them making it seem like it would be like a big deal to make a new, like they keep saying it as if they're like kind of like reviving the franchise or like something, or like it would be like some huge deal if someone makes a new Texas Chainsaw movie. But there's like a new Texas Chainsaw movie like 2 years ago. Now, I mean, they make them all the. It's not like the franchise just like stop. Like they make them all the
Well,
time.
it's like the thing they do where it's like, oh, we just flopped, so we're gonna act like that should never happen. We're like bringing it back. Like it's they literally
Okay,
just say,
fair.
oh, the last one people didn't like, so we're reviving it in like a way of like,
Yeah.
hey guys, we're good
I'm
now.
just, but you know what I meant? I was just like confused by that,
No,
like
I mean that's
by
why it's
them
like,
mentioning that like the agency is like getting all this interest from filmmakers and producers. It's like, doesn't that just happen
yeah, I
all the
know.
time?
It's
Like it's
like
like the franchise has just always
we've been
existed.
getting
Like
Texas Chainsaw movies like at a
yeah.
good
It's like
period of
the
time.
way they were talking about it, I was like, what do you mean you're just like getting all this interest? Like where did this come from?
Yeah,
Like
I think it's
it's not like
because
it's not like they didn't have this opportunity
they
before.
want to reignite
Sure.
it in a way
Yeah.
of like, oh, people don't like the last one.
You think they would just like make another like just straight up remake of the original?
Yeah,
Like
I think
I
they
get
I don't
would.
think we need to be doing all this, bro. It's like
sure, yeah, but like
Sure.
I'm assuming that that's the only thing that would like get that kind of interest is if like a director were gonna remake the original.
It reminded me a lot of the Robert Pattinson is gonna co-produce and maybe star in the Possession remake because it was like Glenn Powell may star in and produce the fucking
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw with this like shitty
Have there been
other
updates
genre
on that,
company.
by the way?
No, thank God.
no, like the updates are like Robert Pattinson wants to remake like a different classic movie too, or something. Like
Yeah.
that's what the
Okay.
Yeah.
um.
So,
Yeah. I don't know. I was
but
just
I
like
don't know.
curious
Well,
because I was like, I don't know what the whole point of like, I don't know, like just the all of the
well,
way that it's
I think it's
phrased is
interesting
confusing to me.
when we talk about Molnar and what is it, Parker Finn, uh, the Smile guy, like being like, oh, they're like interesting whether you like them or not. Like they're hot new horror filmmakers who make their own like original thing, and then are immediately like, hey, I'm gonna remake a classic. Where it's like, you just did like
Yeah.
your own little original thing. Why can't you just keep doing own original things? Why do you have to like pivot into remaking a
Yeah, how many
classic?
of these people are just kind of like one idea guys, you
It's
know?
like
Like
one idea
they
and
just
then
had, you know, because it's like that's probably
That
the
is
case for a lot of
most
people. Yeah, that is
writers.
like most
yeah.
people. It's like you have one
Well,
great idea and then
I
you have to
it
like
almost
keep
comes out of
going
like I have a
consistency.
dream. I want to remake this movie, but I have to make a movie before like I have to get some kind of credibility before I can get my dream. And my
Sure,
dream is
yeah.
actually to remake this classic movie.
Nobody's dream needs to be to remake that like I no, because it's like I think that
Somebody's
there was a
dream is
time.
what is it?
I think
Terminator
that there
2.
was I think that there was a time for the Texas Chainsaw fucking sequels and remakes, and I think that we are now so far removed from that time
Mm-hmm.
that now it's like when I hear like, oh, remaking Texas Chainsaw, it's like you might as well say that you're remaking Citizen Kane. You know what I mean? It's like, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? It's like, what are you doing,
Yeah.
bro? Like,
But I do think that I don't know. I think that always like the commercial appeal of these things is that if you showed the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre to anybody under the age of like 25, they would be like, this is the most boring shit in the world.
It's not really that it's not
Um,
that popular with a certain demographic, which is
yeah, that's what
interesting.
I'm saying, which is like, I think that's always
our
like the
friend
case that you,
Alex Coldman,
yeah.
Alex Coleman, I call not
You're
Coldman,
cold,
Alex
man.
Coleman, in his early 20s, thinks that movie's fucking boring, and that's
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
to me.
And
That's
he's
crazy to
dumb.
me.
Yeah. And he's a
And he's
fucking
dumb and
dummy. He's a
stupid
dumb
and
idiot.
likes fucking like baby cartoons.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
No, but it's like, it's true. I think that is always
He
the
was supposed to be on
perspective.
our podcast a long time
Yeah.
ago, but then
I
we
think that's,
changed. We pivoted away from it.
well, that's
What?
not, don't say it like that. Yeah.
What do you mean?
That it just had to be rescheduled. Don't say it like we like kicked him off or something.
No, we were gonna do Transformers 1, and he was gonna come on for that, but then we didn't do Transformers 1.
Sure.
When was
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When Transformers 1 came out, what do you mean one was this one?
Oh, Transformers 1, like that
Like the
movie.
new one. Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you
Like
meant like
yeah,
Transformers 1, like the Michael
the
Bay movie.
original. No.
no.
Because I
Um,
never saw Transformers 1, the animated cartoon slot movie for
None of us
monsters.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I did not watch it. Anyway, next piece of news: Austin Abrams is in talks to star in Zach Kreger's Resident Evil movie.
Is that he looks like that guy that you were talking about, though, right?
People are gonna be very angry if he's that guy I was talking about.
Really? I don't know much. I listen. I don't know how
He's like a
talented he.
Chad, bro. Like
Austin
Leon Kennedy's supposed to. No, like Leon
Oh, the
Kennedy,
guy.
the character
Oh,
that he
okay.
might be playing.
Austin Abrams is a
If
Chad.
my theory is true, and they're doing Resident Evil 4, and he's playing the main character in Resident Evil 4, people are gonna be upset.
Well,
But,
that's like the. And again, this doesn't mean anything, but like
no, it doesn't.
when they tweeted out the like the news, they put a picture of him next to Austin
Yes.
Abrams to like
Yeah.
suggest that that's who he would be playing. Again, that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they know that that's who he's going to be playing.
We
but,
don't
like,
know what the movie's about at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like he could be. Well, not. I don't think he could play that guy if it's what you're describing. But I think as an actor, he could be like cool and interesting. The thing that's worth noting is that Weapons, which is coming out this year, has Austin Abrams in it. So I think Zach Kreger just liked Austin Abrams after making Weapons and wants him to star in Resident Evil, which is like, I trust him for that.
I'm
so
excited for Weapons, and I'm really excited for this Resident Evil movie. I've thought about it. I'm back. Like whatever it is, if it's like an original thing again, which would be kind of crazy, or if it's like based off of one of the games, I'm interested. I think Zach Kreger.
And you've seen Euphoria, right? Like the whole way through.
Me?
Yeah. I'm obviously not Owen. Oh, I thought you were like
No.
caught up. Oh, okay, never mind. Because
No.
Austin Abrams' like most notable role is as like a character in Euphoria. Like that's like kind of, he's in some movies, but he's like, he's mostly in like either like streaming movies or like smaller roles in like he doesn't have like a big role outside of like being a really well liked character in Euphoria. So that's like my touchstone for him is like thinking of him in Euphoria. I mean, I've seen him in some other movies too, but that's like the one place I've seen him as like an actor. So I'm curious. I'm sure Weapons will put things in perspective a little bit, even though I think he's like 6th build in Weapons, but I'm sure there's still something there. Next piece of news: Sydney Sweeney to star in and produce thriller I Pretended to Be a Missing Girl, based on a Reddit short story that follows a drifter who impersonates a missing girl to rob a family, only to realize she's made a terrible mistake. This is like what I was just describing before about invasion movies where the people invading end up being the victims. This is anyway. Worth noting, something that I wrote down here. I couldn't find this in the article about the movie, but they tweeted this out as if it was like a confirmed piece of news. Sweeney personally brought Eric Roth on board to write the script. Eric Roth, for those who don't know, similar to our guy David Koepp, very famous Hollywood screenwriter and very famous specifically for adapting screenplays, like adapting stories. He has been nominated 6 times in the adapted screenplay category. He's written or he's worked on Forrest Gump, Killers of the Flower Moon recently, Dune recently, The Insider, Ali, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, A Star is Born is another recent one. Like this guy has adapted a lot, and he is now going to be writing the script for this and adapting it from a Reddit short story. So like, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting detail because like a long time ago when we were kind of talking about Immaculate and like how we feel about Sydney Sweeney like becoming a producer and how she's like selecting her project and like having creative control over the types of movies that she's in. I think it is another like cool thing for her to specifically seek out this like legendary Hollywood screenwriter to adapt the story. Don't know who's going to direct it yet, but still like
it'll be somebody she has a relationship. It might be Michael, the guy that did
Michael Mohan.
Yeah, it might just be him again. That's like totally in the
cards.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. But still, I mean, it's cool that Eric Roth is writing it and that she like specifically.
Yeah, everything about this is cool besides the word adapted from Reddit story.
Yeah, but also like no, I think that's kind of
there's like other iconic movies that are adapted from like online.
Yeah,
what are the best Reddit movies?
No, but I think it's like I actually do like the idea of adapting like not just famous books
Sure.
or even famous short stories and like going out of your way to find these like things on the, I guess the Reddit one is like a very popular Reddit short story, but stuff like that. I mean, same with like Doug was, I think I
So do you
assume what
think
you
so?
were
Sydney
referencing
Sweeney
was the
sees this
movie
Reddit
adapted from the
story, and then
Twitter
like, oh, it's
thread,
like
right?
movie.
What's the movie adapted from the Twitter thread? Is it
Oh, it's like,
Zola?
yeah.
Is that it?
I think
Um,
so.
anyway, like that's like another thing. Like I actually do kind of like that idea because the other thing I was thinking of is like when this is a little bit different, but like that Watcher show that Netflix made that I'm like obsessed with because I wrote my own version of it is adapted from like just a like an article online, like a true crime article and like stuff like that. I do think it's cool when people are resourceful and like find these like little things on the internet and are like, yeah, I want to turn that into a into a full movie script. Like
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's fun.
I no, I think it's
I
cool,
don't
and
I
I
don't
and
care if the source is Reddit, even though that is like not, my favorite
I
place on the internet.
I probably have already said this on the show before, but I really think that Sydney Sweeney is these movies need to get made. That's like a part of it where like more of these movies need to actually get made.
Yeah.
But more than just immaculate. But like it does
Oh,
seem
and
like she's
Anyone But
just
You as well. She was a producer on,
that's true, that's true. But
and
like
that movie
it's
was
like
very successful.
it really seems like she's just the smartest kind of young movie star, you know. Like you can put movie star in quotes or whatever,
I
but
think
like
she's a movie star, yeah.
no, yeah, yeah.
But
But it's
maybe
like
TV
she
star,
like
but like she's just very famous.
the way that she has been able to the way that she is capitalizing off of um you know her image and her talent and like using and then flexing that into becoming not only just like more famous but like literally being in more movies and presenting yourself how you want to be presented in the movies instead of having to you know like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, like and Tom Holland's
Yeah.
also very famous.
Instead of
um
having to make non-alcoholic beer, she can do all these things.
yeah, she could like be
His
a producer
non-alcoholic
and
beer is doing well though. No, I feel like it's.
that's so besides the point. That's so besides the point.
I'm just saying it's
Um,
doing good. You know.
yeah.
Um. Anyway, speaking of money, speaking of business, uh,
Moolah.
Apple is losing more than $1 billion per year on their streaming service, Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, they
Do you
should
know
keep doing
how
it.
do you know how much money if you were to take their yearly gross profit from 2024
Subtract a
and
billion dollars.
no
You
no
would
no
still okay.
and then you were to divide that by 365, how much
Mm.
money do you think they make a day? What do you think that number comes out
Oh,
to?
how much money does Apple make a day?
Yeah, if you were to take their yearly gross profit from 2024 and then to split that up over the whole year, how much do you think? What do you think the number is?
Probably more than $1 billion.
It's $500 million
Okay.
every single day, bro.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna say half a billy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
five
was
every
thinking
single.
like around that. Yeah. Like a
Yeah, in
billion, but
2024, they
half a
on
billion, sure.
average
That's
made
why
five
it's
hundred
like
million dollars a day in
Apple,
profit.
unless they chicken out of this, like Apple is so important for the ecosystem. If they're really their
Yeah.
mindset is like, hey, I don't care if we lose $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep funding these things.
Listen, they're losing all this money on streaming. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, just personally greenlit Severance season 3. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Well, no,
it's
I think
like
it's important. I think it's important the stuff that they're doing with TV because if they can just get enough of like these severances, like people are. And again, it's a little bit embarrassing from this perspective because like I don't know that everybody would do this with another streaming service, but like I've seen like viral tweets of somebody being like, "Oh, Severance is over. I'm canceling my Apple subscription now." But like for the most part, it's like people are subscribing to Apple just for something like that, and it's like if you could just make a couple shows that are as successful as Severance, which they definitely can do. Um, like I don't know, it would be a very fun. Like it's like you think about Netflix, and like again, the only reason I'm bringing up TV is because like most of these streaming services at this point, like obviously care more about TV than movies. It's like how many good Netflix shows are there? Like it's
but
like
Netflix has had, again, if we're just using Severance as like a cultural thing, like
yeah,
like a good show that people culturally care about.
yeah,
Netflix has had
multiple.
like eight of these.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
like
true, and you're not wrong. My point is just that like a I just feel like culturally, if you can make 2, 3, 4 shows that people talk about the way that they talk about Severance, you're not far off from convincing people that an Apple TV subscription is worth it as much as a Netflix subscription is, especially when Netflix raises the subscription price by like $2 every 2 months, you know? It's
Yeah.
like Apple
Netflix
TV is
has
not
like
very expensive, like you know, relatively.
the movies that here's my thing. I'm kind of I'm nervous that Apple is just like gonna tap out and just not do any big movies
Yeah.
ever again,
That's
because
what
they
I'm
did
worried
like a
about. Yeah.
couple of big movie, like really expensive big movies in a row, and it seems like that from their perspective maybe they were like, yeah, it's not worth it,
Right.
because they did, you know, they did Napoleon, and they did the Killers of the Flower Moon.
But also they had like some, isn't that Channing Tatum, Scarlett Johansson movie an Apple movie? The
Oh, I think it
Fly Me to
is.
the
Yeah,
Moon.
Fly
Like
Me
it's
to
like,
the
so they've had
Moon.
like some kind
Like,
of big budget, just like no cultural relevant, like that, like at
yeah,
least those movies you're naming, even if they weren't box office successes, are like gonna live on in time. Like
yeah,
Fly Me to the Moon, not a movie that's gonna that's gonna be remembered in a couple of years or even now.
yeah. And
I
because
don't
it's
know.
like I feel like that, man. Uh
I
okay,
just
bigger picture here,
yeah.
right? There's an argument to be made that the current class of the ultra wealthy are the worst in human history,
Yeah.
because
I don't even
traditionally,
think it's an argument.
because traditionally throughout like documented human history, the ultra wealthy, they spent their money on stuff. They
Yeah.
and not even just like I'm not saying like, oh, rich people used to be good, but like they used to like build libraries and spend money on art, and like
Yeah.
like build like big statues, and like bought and like built like big fucking churches and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The ultra wealthy doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like
They
somebody
do
like
like the opposite. They make Cybertron.
yeah, no, they sit on their fucking money, like on their money like a fucking dragon, dude.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, imagine, you know, we should be living in a world where Apple, who makes ridiculous amount of profit, Apple, I think,
Yeah.
out of every company in the entire world, they're not like the Nvidia is the biggest company in the world in terms of how much they're worth, but Apple has the most cash. They're sitting on the most like liquid cash in the entire world out of any company. And they are always going to sell more iPhones, right? That they make huge fucking profits on.
Yeah.
They should just be funding another Martin
no, yeah,
Scorsese movie, dude.
Yeah.
They should just be doing it, because
Yeah.
not because it's gonna make them like immediate money, but just because it's like that's something you should just be doing, you
Yeah.
know?
I really do
no.
hope that like that is kind of the path forward. Like I,
They could
as much as I like don't
single-handedly
want to
like
defend
keep
Apple, you
things
know, it's
going.
like, yeah, it's like if they could be the competitor with stuff like Netflix and like be some kind of outlet or like source for actual like filmmakers and you know, like that is their catalog, is just like stuff that's good, even if they're like still doing, you know, like it's like I also have Apple to watch Ted Lasso, which is like shit, but it's like, but if you could do both things at the same time, and like Ted Lasso brings in, you know, 10 million Apple users, then like good things could happen on the Apple side of things. Like, yeah, I hope they don't just like give up on Apple TV completely. That would be a real
Yeah,
bummer. And I don't think they will. Like,
No, I mean, we're at least getting another season of Severance, and
yeah, and it's not even just that. It's like this is just
whatever that
like
means.
this is not like reporting from like Apple's side of it. This is just like a report. Like this is just like somebody being like, this is how much money Apple's losing. It's not like Apple said anything. It's not like Apple
yeah,
like made a public statement being like, we're losing this money and so we're gonna do this. It's just like someone
Well,
just
and like
reported that they're losing money. Like on
losing money is a funny thing, because like their profits are so high, and they're still like a high
yeah,
growth company where like their profits are getting higher every year, right? It's
sure,
like
yeah.
they're literally not losing any money. It's just like Apple TV
Yeah, well specifically
is a
that's what I mean.
small
They
part of
reported
such a small
specifically
part of the
that,
pie that just
yeah,
isn't making its all of its money back, you know? It's
right.
like
Which is like
that, that
nothing. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like literally nothing, bro.
right.
Make another Ridley Scott movie and another Martin Scorsese movie. Just do it again.
Yeah.
Just run it back,
And the
bro.
fourth season of Ted Lasso, you know?
No, well, don't do that. They're
Well,
going to do that, but don't do that.
they're
Yeah,
already doing it. It's like a little bit late for that.
yeah.
But Colin Farrell is in talks to star in Luca Guadagnino's Sergeant Rock for DC Studios. Not too long ago, we reported that Daniel Craig was in talks to star in this role.
We were talking about
but,
Jeremy Allen White like 2 weeks ago.
What's
yeah.
the
Oh,
over
yeah. I guess
under?
that's true. Yeah.
What's the line? Like, what's the over under on
On
this
if
movie
Colin
getting
Farrell
made?
ends up.
No, on
Oh,
if
just
this
the whole
movie if
movie.
it gets made. Yeah,
It's gonna get made. It's gonna get made.
they're not
What
in.
if there's, like-
They're still casting it. It's not even production.
Yeah.
Hasn't even started.
I wonder if there's
Movies
just,
go
like,
into production and then still don't get made. You know.
No, I know. I just
And also,
Yeah.
it's a
Colin Farrell. What the fuck are we doing?
great actor, incredible
Yeah.
actor.
No, I agree.
It's funny.
One of my
three-
favorites.
It's like 3 actors have been attached to this role, and they're all like 3 like pretty different kind of guys.
Yeah, like
Like-
none of them really share much in common with it. Well, I guess Daniel Craig and Colin Farrell share that they're like great living actors, but yeah, they're very different.
They're kind of different types. They're all different types.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
Saw
I guess they could all
11
be in the war.
Is not happening.
is not happening. No Saw 11.
Yeah, I
What
kind of
the
felt like
heck,
this.
dude?
I felt like we knew about this for a long time.
I guess.
It was like
but-
they kind of tweeted. There was like cryptic like ohs like months ago, and then nothing. We heard nothing about it, and it was like this movie's not happening.
I just
then
always
now they
assumed
kinda-
that like I just always assumed that it was just getting pushed back. I didn't think it was just like not happening at all.
No, they were like
So-
super like sad like cryptic tweets where people were like,
Yeah.
"This is the end of everything." It was like, oh,
Right. That stinks. I was excited for Saw 11. Sort of excited. No, not
Isn't
like.
he's 150 years old.
Sure, Does that like matter though?
no.
Yeah, a little.
I mean, they
like,
just
a
made Saw
little bit.
10. Like it's
I
like it's
know.
fine. Like it's like he's old in that movie.
He's gonna
Um,
die, and they're gonna do Saw 11, and he's gonna be AI.
Dude, why do you say things like this?
Fucking, I'm.
Why are
calling
you
it
like
so,
no? But it's
I'm
like
calling
why are
it
you
so early.
why are you putting
I'm
this
calling
out
it
in like
so early?
you know like
That's
it's
what's
like,
gonna happen, bro.
that's crazy.
We're gonna get AI Jigsaw in Saw 11, and it's gonna come out in like fucking 6 years.
Catch-Up Entertainment is in talks to acquire Coyote vs. Acme from Warner Bros. For a theatrical release.
Yeah, Catch Up Entertainment. That's like the mobile game app company.
I
That's crazy.
thought it was the ketchup company.
No. That's
No.
Heinz.
Yeah, but
Heinz,
everybody
yeah.
can make ketchup.
That's not true.
I won't eat off-brand ketchup. I have to have Heinz.
Oh, you fucking piece of shit. You fucking
what the
proletariat piece of
fuck?
shit.
What the
I was
fuck?
kidding. Damn, what the fuck?
fuck?
I'm being attacked.
What the fuck?
A guy can't make
Oh
a
my
joke
God.
anymore, dude.
You're getting the guillotine, buddy.
Okay, all right. Also, no, never mind. I'm gonna.
What's up?
No, nothing.
Okay.
My gears are turning for a second. I'm just like I'm flashing back to something that.
No, but okay, this is cool. I'm happy the movie might come out. But do you remember when the report said that they deleted the movie? That it's impossible for the movie to come out because
No.
they like yeah, like HBO.
That's
like,
a crazy
they said,
bluff. Hey guys, we just like deleted it.
yeah, Warner Brothers said that they just got like the movie doesn't exist anymore.
I think it's such a
Oh.
crazy handling from Warner Brothers. The fact that like there's been so much outpouring like support for the film, like I
And
just don't understand why. Like
It
at
tested
any,
so well.
I just
at
there's,
test screenings.
there
It's
seems
so
to be
weird.
no like reason why that this is like a struggle for them. It's like
Yeah.
like even to the point of just dropping it on a streaming service.
Yeah, I don't. It's so I
It's-
don't understand. Like I don't even
Uh,
understand. Like from a tax incentive part, like the upside can't be that high. Like
Yeah.
um,
And also, it's funny selling it now because like you've built this movie up to never be more hyped than it is right now, and like now you're just gonna like, okay, I guess I'll sell it. It's like,
I think what Doug meant was bourgeoisie.
what did I say?
Because I said that I only eat Heinz, and Doug said, "You proletarian piece of shit."
Oh yeah, sure.
And so
then
now I
bourgeois.
turned back
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
gears,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I just had to do
Yeah,
the
yeah,
math,
yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"That's not correct."
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. The
Anyway,
proletariat
moment
are
of
the good
silence.
guys,
Moment of
course.
silence for our last piece of news here. The Sex Lives of College Girls is canceled at Max after 3 seasons.
Maybe
Renee
Apple will
Rapp,
pick it up.
Renee.
What the
No,
fuck happened? A moment of silence. I literally just said moment of silence, and both of you started talking the second I finished reading it.
Hey man.
ask Renee Rapp for a moment of silence. It's her fault that shit got canceled, bro.
That's like not technically true.
Where's the rap of silence?
It's like it is true that her leaving the show is the reason why it got canceled, but like to say it's her fault that she didn't want to be on the show anymore is like kind of, like she can leave. It's bad for the show, but like you can leave, it's like most people
So you're saying
do.
that nobody has any accountability here. You're just saying like
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people. It is the very common path for people who are super successful as young actors on a hit show to leave that show before it's over and continue on with their careers elsewhere.
So
In
you're
Renee
saying
Rapp's
that
case, it's a little bit different because she just like wants to pursue her music career over her acting career. But
so you're saying that it's okay that Joaquin Phoenix left
Jesus
the
Christ.
Todd Haynes
Okay.
shoot because it's like it's fine.
Yeah,
It's like normal for people
famous
to wanna
young
like...
TV actor Joaquin Phoenix. Like, listen to yourself, dude. The fucking he called me a proletariat as an insult. Okay.
Oh,
And you guys
listen,
are supposed to trust
you
this
can't
man.
you can't make mistakes anymore.
He's
It's
saying
2025.
Doug
You
over
can't make
here is
mistakes
literally
anymore.
saying that the common person, that you, the common listener who works, whose labor funds all of these rich, wealthy people that Doug claims are the bad guys, that you are the problem. That Elon Musk can get away with whatever he wants because actually it's your fault.
No, that's not
It's
what
your
happened.
fault, guys. All right, for eating off-brand ketchup. It's your problem. Okay. Doug didn't even have the respect to have a fucking moment of silence, and you're supposed to trust this
A
guy.
moment of silence for the Renee Rapp show.
It's not the Renee Rapp show. She's gone. Okay, the new season.
Yeah. I wonder why the show didn't
actually,
get fucking renewed for another season, dude. I wonder why.
They part of the news is that they're looking for a new home. I think that's going to be impossible. I think they're gonna they were saying that they could work some kind of deal out with Netflix to have the show continue on Netflix. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, that's our last piece of news. I just included that for the two Sex Lives of College Girls fans. We're going to wrap up there. Next week, episode 111, we'll be talking about two movies probably. A Working Man and The Woman in the Yard. Two exciting, fun movies.
It would be funny if all of us only saw one of them, but we didn't tell each other which one it was.
All of us can't see one of them because there's three of us and not
So
two
of us would end up seeing the same movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be
So
funny.
that's just so your math is just wrong.
What do you mean my math is wrong? I said my
You're
math has
not
nothing to do
mathing,
with
you're
this.
like,
You said if all of
math
us
has
each,
everything
like,
to do
all
with
of us
it.
saw one of them, but there's three people in two movies, so
There's two movies. So
you're saying
you misinterpreted what I said.
Yeah, I guess I did. Okay. You're saying if all of us only saw a movie, not if we each saw one movie.
Yeah, if each of us saw one of the two movies, and
I was just trying to
tell
be
each
hard
other
on you because you were because you really messed up toward the end there. So I was trying to make a worse case, but then I guess by trying to put more blame on you, it made me look worse, and now we're kind of even. So
what do we think about Walter Goggins' hairline?
New episode of White Lotus tonight, as we're recording, by the way. The Gog Man gonna have a big one this week. Also, apparently, worth mentioning, if you're listening to this now, you probably have already seen the result of this. But I learned this morning, I didn't include it in the news because nobody on here cares, but Sam Rockwell, sorry, I forgot his name for a second. Sam Rockwell, who was the guest star of last week's episode, and I thought would be competing for the guest star Emmy, is actually not going to be able to get the guest star Emmy because he's going to be in the rest of the season. So you have to be in less than half of the episodes on a season to get a guest star Emmy, but he's going to be in exactly half of the episodes. So probably more Sam Rockwell tonight, guys. For those of you who are White Lotus watchers, and more
Banks,
more Goggins as well. Who?
William Banks.
Free William Banks.
It's William Banks.
Oh, guy.
You
You
don't know
don't
who
have a
William Banks
clue.
is?
William Banks. Why am I supposed to know this
he's
name?
he's the guy that went to jail.
He's White Moses.
Yeah, he's White Moses. He's the guy that went to. It actually requires so much explaining. But he went to jail and then he broke out of jail, but then they got him again.
Oh no, I don't think I know who this is. Never mind.
Bro said, "Oh no, I don't."
Well,
know
like
who
I
this is."
saw like one thing that I was like, oh, this looks familiar, and then I
he did
scrolled
a
and
rug pull for Palestine.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he did a crypto rug pull and then donated all the money that he got from the rug pull to Palestine.
That's okay. Cool.
But he got arrested today, last night. In
Oh,
New
you
York.
did? I didn't see that.
No, yeah, he's back in jail.
Wow.
Damn. Well,
Yeah.
I thought the reason why I was confused was because you said that after I finished talking about Sam Rockwell, and I was like, I don't really.
No,
Well, actually, Sam
just
Rockwell has
like
been tapped to
saying
play
things,
him in
yeah.
the Fisher film. They don't
Can
look
I look up
at all.
Can I look up a picture of
They
this
don't look.
man?
They look.
Are
They
you
don't look.
saying does he look like Walton
No.
Goggins?
Yeah, Cam, they
I
have
guess.
similar hairlines.
Is that why you brought up? Oh
Yeah.
wow, okay. I mean this man is
They're
significantly younger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who would you cast to play him?
He kind of looks like
Timothy Chalamet.
I never mind. It's like, in my head, I was like, he kind of looks like the celebrity, but then I remember that the person who I had pictured in my head was just like a normal guy that I know, not an actor.
Yeah, at that point, he just play himself.
Anyway, well, I guess he's in jail, so unless you.
I'll break him out and then we'll shoot the movie.
He's gonna break out a second time.
And then he shoots, breaks out, shoots a whole movie.
How did he
goes
break
back in jail.
out?
There's a video of him. He recorded himself breaking out of jail.
Oh, wow, there's so much.
It's like the power went out it was like a storm and the power went out. If somebody
Yeah,
listening to this is gonna be mad because I'm like getting it wrong, but I think there was like a storm and the power went out at the jail and like all the prisoners like
where is he? Like Rikers?
I don't know. He got arrested in Manhattan though, so I don't know. But I don't know where he's detained currently.
Sure, I mean that's why I said Rikers because
yeah.
geographical.
No, I
location
understand.
would
Yeah,
make
yeah, I
sense.
know. Yeah, you think he's in there with Diddy? Isn't
Like
Diddy
in the same
Rikers?
cell?
No, but like, but
Wait, what's this guy's name again? William Banks?
Yeah.
Let's find.
No, because I saw the interview with the guy who was in there with Diddy. It was a different guy. There's a whole interview with that guy. He talks about.
Diddy?
There's a guy who's like talking to Piers Morgan or something. He's talking about, yeah, I'm in here with Diddy, and Diddy's like chill, and he doesn't hurt, that's the whole conversation.
No, Diddy isn't in Rikers.
Yeah,
but he's in there with somebody.
Did he?
Okay, so this article I'm reading says that he spent. Wait, is this article saying that this is fake?
What?
Are you
It's
guys
not
telling me
fake.
fake news?
No.
I saw him break out.
We saw the video of him breaking out.
Are you sure
I also
this
saw.
isn't-
I also saw.
Is this a skit?
I also saw pictures last
Are you
night
guys
of him
trying to
getting
get me with a
arrested.
skit right now? This article is saying it like this never happened.
Bro, this shit happened, bro.
It
It
was
says
real.
William Banks did not spend half of a wait.
He's in there.
Bro, there's pictures of him in jail, bro.
Yeah, but is this saying it's like?
I'm watching a video of him getting arrested that was posted March 20th.
Well, somebody, yeah, no, but like this is like this article is saying that like he's lying online and he kept it up during that 25-minute interview that Owen is referencing.
What?
What
interview?
in spite of
I was referencing the Diddy interview.
Oh, okay. Well, it says in spite of overwhelming evidence, including interviews with other comedians who know him socially and professionally, public records, and a now defunct backstage casting call for a project titled Jail Saga Reality Show, posted by a company that lists the Brooklyn-based comedian and actor as a co-owner. 8-month sentence.
Yeah, but you saying the NYPD?
Oh no, wait.
Is the actors?
Oh no. Okay, never mind. So this is I'm reading this article wrong because I'm skimming it. I think. Okay.
Because the last thing he posted is
okay.
Him,
so he did
running
really
the
get
cop
arrested. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, never mind. I don't know why this article phrased this like this. I think it's because I skipped the first 2 paragraphs to read the part that I was at, and maybe I missed some details. But okay, so he is in jail after he allegedly he did have a warrant issued for his arrest after he allegedly stole 5 Israeli flags from strangers' lawns in
Yeah.
Westport,
Yes,
Connecticut.
that's why he got arrested the first time.
Oh,
yeah.
this is funny because I like unironically was driving around in a neighborhood not too far from my house. I think with my girlfriend or maybe with somebody else, and I was like, oh, we should like. It was like this neighborhood that was just like every lawn had an Israeli flag, and like it was like like a super pro-Israel neighborhood, and I was like, we should just come back here at night and just like steal them and like replace them.
Yeah, you
And it's a good
You
thing
would
I
have turned
never.
it. You would have ended up like William Banks, bro.
Like, because I was like, I thought it'd be funny. I was like, why not? You know, like it's like.
No, that's yeah.
But I guess it's a good thing I didn't. For those listening, I did not do that. I only thought about doing the
It's a
crime.
thought crime.
I did not. But also, like, this goes back to the slap, to the iconic Oscar slap, where I'm like, this is not a real crime, you know? Like,
Oh my god.
He could have killed him.
it's not. It's like
He coulda
stealing,
killed him.
bro.
He could have
God,
killed him.
come on, it's stealing flags from someone's lawn. I mean, grow
no,
up.
I think stealing flags isn't that serious, but I think slapping somebody is
Okay,
like,
no, but that I was
it's
just I was
assault,
saying
bro.
that to be
What if
funny,
William
but, like,
Banks slapped Chris Rock?
that would have been funny.
my point is that like the stealing, like it's like, you know, because it's like you guys used to like leave shit on people's doorsteps, right? It's like it's not much different than that.
I did not use this
No,
shit on
I did
people's
not do that.
doorsteps. dog.
I was
You
was
never,
at
like-
home.
I was
I was
well
at
behaved.
home playing fucking Mario and watching Avatar, bro.
You were
That's
shitting
what
on
I was
people's
doing.
Listeners to the
doorsteps?
pod, let me know if you've ever done the old light the dog shit on fire prank. You know what I mean?
Bro, all of the listeners of our nobody that listens to our podcast was alive before the Ring doorbell came out, bro. None of them are like what are you talking about? Some
That's-
like ancient shit.
That's
Let
not
me know if
true.
you're a New Jersey listener who participated in Mischief Night activities, you know? You guys know about Mischief Night, or is this I don't think you do. I think we've talked about this before, actually.
Mischief
Is this the
Night.
most off the rails we've gotten on the pod?
No, this is so on topic.
Wait, but actually, do you guys know what Mischief Night is? Can I give you like a piece of Jersey information and you guys try to guess what it means?
Can I give you a piece of Jersey information?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
are we doing Sopranos trivia?
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Like,
fucking
kind of,
block
yeah.
it.
Like this is like Jersey trivia. Can just off the name, like it's kind of like slang, like, but it's not slang. It's a thing. But like, just
Okay.
off the name, what do you think Mischief Night is?
Well, you just said it. You shit on
Yeah,
people.
it's like
You-
yeah, it's like you being a little mischievous, doing some pranks.
Not exactly that. It has a greater tie-in.
Okay.
It has,
is
to do,
it?
with, it has to do with the holiday.
Halloween.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
What the fuck is going
Well, I'm
on?
trying to get you to define it. I wanted you to guess what it is.
It's like pranks on Halloween.
Close. It's the night before Halloween. It's Mischief
Okay.
Night happens the night before Halloween in New Jersey. I don't think kids do it anymore because they're like scared
It's
little
like
babies.
woke.
But
There's
you know,
Ring
it's like-
doorbells. You'll get
yeah, it's
arrested
like,
and end
okay,
up like
sure.
William
You're
Banks.
gonna mess up
cares,
like
though. It's
William.
like live a little. Anyway, when I was younger, and I'm not saying I was for those listening, I'm not saying I was a participant in Mischief Night ever. In fact, I tended to avoid participating on Mischief Night. But the idea was that you know, like all the cops in town, because they had nothing better to do, because we're in like a very kind of well-off suburban New Jersey neighborhood, they would just drive around all night on Mischief Night looking for high schoolers and mischievous kids who are doing Mischief Night activities, which included but are not limited to throwing eggs at people's houses. TPing people's houses was the most popular one, just running around with rolls of toilet paper, and then also shaving cream, drawing stuff in shaving cream on people's houses. And so cops would look for kids out about on Mischief Night, and if you had any of the three, toilet paper, shaving cream, or eggs on you, the cops knew, and you were a bad boy, and you were punished for being out.
You were a
on-
bad boy.
and it
Oh,
happened
you got
to-
shaving cream there? What are you gonna do?
No, but it
You don't-
happened to my. My house was a victim of Mischief Night multiple times. You know, there
You
was
got shaving cream and no razors. Oh, you're
no, yeah,
one
there was
bad
shaving
boy.
cream. One day I came out in the morning and there was shaving cream all over my garage doors. There was just they were covered.
Oh,
in
what
shaving
were you
cream.
gonna do?
They drew penises on my garage.
Oh no, they
Um,
drew penises with shaving cream on your garage door. Fuck.
But anyway, another popular prank that people don't do anymore was that they would light. You would get a bag of dog shit like after your dog took a shit on a walk, and then you would
Oh,
go to some.
wait, that's how you would get the bag?
Yeah, like it's not human shit. It's not,
Oh, right.
Right. you get dog shit from like when you know, like your dog going on a walk. You take the dog shit. You save it. You go to somebody's. You know, like, well, obviously everybody knows what ding dong ditching is. So instead of ding dong ditching, it's like an advanced ding dong ditch where you go to
Yeah.
someone's house
It's
with
like
a
a
bag of
combo.
dog
You're
shit.
doing it's like a combo in a
It's a
fighting game.
combo, yeah. You go to someone's house with a bag of dog shit, you put it on their doorstep and light it on fire with a lighter, and then you ding dong ditch them. And they come out, they open their front door. There's a bag of flaming like something on their doorstep, so they start
You step
stomping
on
in.
it, yes.
They start stomping in the fire to try to get it out, and then they realize they've stepped in dog shit. Anyway, just a classic little.
You have never done that. I don't believe you've ever done that before.
I have never done it. I have watched other
Okay.
people do it. I have been with other people who did it.
Okay.
I was not the one to run up and do the ding dong ditching, but I was present in the.
So
activity.
they were just like you were driving around and someone had dog shit like just
No, it was like a planned. It was a planned attack. It
No,
was
I
a-
know, but they were like carrying the dog shit around.
Bro, you were like a terrorist. You were like fucking ISIS. You were like the ISIS of New Jersey, bro. Jesus
I
Christ.
just said I did not do it.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not.
you
But
were
you
like-
were an accomplice.
just-
you were an
I
accomplice.
know about
That's
these
because you don't
activities. I
click
do
the
not
button.
Yeah,
participate
you weren't
in
flying
them.
the planes. You were teaching them how to fly the planes, though.
Okay.
You-
Yeah.
I did. Let's not bring 9/11 into this, okay? Speaking of New Jersey history, all right.
Jersey.
We're gonna end the podcast because I have college basketball to watch. Who do you guys got winning, Duke or Baylor right now?
Dude,
What's the score, Duke?
Duke is up 3-2. 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, bro.
Cooper
He's a
Flag
superhero.
saved my
Cooper
life.
Flag's a superhero.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. We'll see. We'll see. I hope the Nets don't draft him.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's Jeremiah
I did-
Fears season.
I did the tankathon today, and I got the Heat #1 overall pick.
Okay, dude.
Give me something that's not gonna happen for 500, please.
Oh,
Honestly, though, the Cooper Flag, Bam Adebayo, Tyler
Hero.
Tyler
It
Hero,
would
you
be-
might want to trade at that point, but
Yeah.
No.
Can't have that many
Trading
white
Tyler
guys
Hero
starting.
because we drafted a fucking power forward. What the fuck are you talking
well, no,
about?
I just mean like to make the team better and get like
Yeah.
a real player on the roster.
All right, guys. Thank you everybody for listening to this
Yeah,
episode
next
of
week,
Looks Like a
episode
Movie.
111, Working Man, the woman in the yard. We'll see you later.
Why is she in the water and he's working?